We are live. Let me get my notes because I can't do anything without my notes. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the Krieg Dominion. I am Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion and the host for tonight's events. This final episode of Second Star, a Traveler 2300 role-playing experience entitled Finn. That's right, you heard it correctly. Due to a small number of reasons, this will be the final episode of Second Star. And this is the episode where we finish the current mission from a narrative sense with ideally only a few dice rolls. And then my intent is to have something of an open forum discussion between myself, the players, and any viewers that may want to participate, either in chat or even by hopping in the Discord for that matter. Just a chance for everybody to try to close out open storylines because unfortunately this ending is quite unexpected and very much not very well prepared for, despite the fact that we knew last week, but last week things came up. At any rate, I am joined by Charles and Thurgor. Unfortunately, for personal reasons, Agent Wiggles has elected to leave the show, and that is probably one of the major contributing factors. Not so much that he himself left, but that we're down a player. That is one of the major contributing factors as to why the show is ending in such a fashion. But in the meantime, let's check in with Charles and Thurgor, see what's new with them in the new blah 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 blah. I can speak, I promise I can. Let's check in with Charles and Thurgor, see what's new and exciting for them in their neck of the woods. Charles, you're first, my friend. What's new and exciting for you?
Not much. I did. So since before last time, I had a procedure done because I had felt a problem in my body, and I had a pre-cancerous scare.
Ooh.
But they found it in time, and they got everything out. So that was an interesting weekend.
Oh, I'm sure.
Last weekend, yeah. So, and other than that, work is becoming interesting, and next weekend is the local Comic Con, so that'll be fun and interesting because I got a friend of mine who bought tickets, and we're gonna go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh.
One of these days I'll actually make it to one of these cons, but I never have. I just imagine it's just one gigantic money pit. It costs money to get there. It costs money to stay there. It costs money to do things there. It costs money to get swag. You know, I'm sure there's handouts and stuff, but it's like it's. I don't have that kind of money, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, I mean, we split between the two of us. For a 4-day pass, and for 4 people, it was just over $800. So
yeah.
You know, so I contributed 4, he contributed 4, so we could both, go, and we're gonna, like the weekend, we're gonna take our respective kids who are into that stuff.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, my last time I went to it, it was like, oh, hey, here's a Subway. Oh, by the way, a foot long doesn't cost you $7; it's 14.
Oh yeah.
Before the and then it's like, oh, you want to go meet superstar from one of your favorite comic book movies. Yeah, they want like $100 for an autograph and like $120 for the photograph with the autograph. And but there are some people that are like willing to give stuff free and things like this. Like like last year I met Daryl from Run DMC and was able to get a free photograph and handshake with him and told him a funny story about being out in deployment and like 20 white guys basically rocking down to all Run DMC music and all that early 80s rap.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious because realistically, I mean,
where else would you see that but in the military?
Yeah. Well, it started because someone had on one of their iPods, Aerosmith's "Walk This Way," and someone's like, "Was that done by Run DMC?" We're like, "Oh, sweet child."
Oh, you sweet summer child. You don't know the stories. Oh man, that's amazing.
How we progressed from that to Run DMC to LL Cool J, Sugar Hill Gang, and everything else, and then the West Coast kids showed up and threw it all away.
It's usually about how that goes. Well, I am glad that whatever the not quite cancer issue was, easily and quickly remedied, and seemingly without it being too much of a major emotional event.
Oh, it was. It was one of those. I'll just say it outright. I'm of that age where I had to go in for the colon check,
Yep,
and
yep.
they found enough to like go, oh, yeah, you need to get I'm now on the screening level, and because they found a couple of them that were close enough that the doc's like, yeah, this is like these are the results from testing it, but out of the 5 or 6 they found, only 3 of them were pre, so they're like, yeah, it's, on the law averages, you're doing pretty well, but you need to be checked more often. It's like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And for those of you who've not done it, it's a load of fun. She said sarcastically.
Said nobody ever.
Oh, welcome to the club.
I just say this: that by the time I was done and out, and even though I was still loopy with the good drugs, I was like, yeah, you know what? I need real food, not watery, soapy, whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, that's me, and I'll turn it over. I'm done.
Okay. All right. Well, Thurgor, what is new and exciting for you? I know last week you were like, "Yeah, I am exactly whomped. I am out. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
play tonight." I don't know what else you've got going on, and I don't know how much more detail you want to give on that stuff. But please, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I was back home last week, so that was part of it. And
Okay.
then I don't know, I just wore myself out. I still don't have the stamina like I used to have to get out and run around like I was running around.
Yeah. That's
But I'm
always a.
slowly getting better as far as that goes.
Oh,
I came home.
I thought you were
Yeah.
making an age-related remark, and then I remembered, no,
No,
you're currently on the recovery bend for previous issues.
I'm on the stable end. We'll say that.
I mean,
I
however
don't
you
know
want
if
to
I've
put it, man.
actually recovered from anything, but I'm not getting any worse right now. So
Well, that's a plus.
that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So came home to a 52-degree house because evidently my diesel ran out while I was gone. So I had
Mm,
no heat, but I was able to get that remedy pretty quick. And then last night I got in my kitchen and started cleaning stuff up that I had left before I even left on my trip. And evidently there's something wrong underneath the dishwasher because water was going everywhere. And so I had to pull my refrigerator and move stuff around. And yeah, so
yeah,
right now my house is
categorically,
a
water
complete
running
disaster.
everywhere is not a good thing.
So I'm working on it, but I'm here tonight when I probably should be in my kitchen working on that. But it is what it is. So priorities.
Yeah, yeah, and you can only do so much, so you definitely have to prioritize.
Yep, yep.
All right, you got anything else, or shall we move the show on, as it were?
Well, let's go for it, I guess.
All right. So again, I'm going to reiterate before we actually kick this off. This is the final episode. Uh, Wiggles leaving the group, not wanting to contend with attempting to find a replacement. A few other scheduling concerns of my own of late, and I mean that's pretty much the gist of it. Really, these are the reasons why Second Star is ending tonight. We are going to attempt to complete or close out whatever open storylines we can. There will be open discussion at the end of the main, I guess you could say the main event. Some Q&A, ask me anything kind of deal where I may reveal some secrets. There's a couple I'm probably going to hold on to because honestly, don't I don't know when. It certainly won't be anytime soon, but I am not at all opposed to a return visit to this particular rendition of the 2300 universe, or even just anything Traveler related for that matter, because I've got a handful of ideas regarding that, anyways. So, coming back to this particular universe, where the Empire of Mankind is this big bad boogeyman hanging over the side of the edge there, uh, you know, is certainly not off the table. It's just, along with many other things, there's the question of when it will happen, and to get back on track, because otherwise I start rambling. Um, there are some secrets that I may not reveal, and there are some that I am fully aware of and not worried about revealing. Just questions that the players may have had about when we did this, what was really going on there. Like, well, I think it's fair that I tell you that this is what was going on. Blah 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 blah. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
That's my son. He is
Okay.
in the same room I am playing Gamebox, and he gets boisterous.
That's fine. That's fine. We all have had our moments. I'm sure. I have
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
my fair share.
Yeah. He's playing a game called Alien Hominid, and
Oh, wow.
is in the process of attacking the Russians with his alien. So
Ukraine thanks you. That may have been a little more political than I like to get on my own show, but
right.
so yeah, so that's the game plan. We're gonna do more or less the content I have planned, and then whatever's done, whatever time we have remaining after that, we'll open the floor, as it were, to both players and viewers, either in chat or just join us on the Discord if you want. And we can talk about Traveler and what we were trying to do here and what we accomplished or what we missed along the way, things of that nature. At any rate, previously on Second Star, we have another montage of a number of scenes covering the previous episodes. The Thorez-class courier ship Iron Jolly taking off from Beowulf after a brief showing of a number of meetings. We follow the Iron Jolly through space, leaving the Beowulf system, entering Kilimanjaro and docking at a space station over the main world, and then finally departing there and landing on Beta Canum. We see a crowd of people, excited at the arrival of the Jolly, then visibly disappointed when the crew that disembarks isn't the normal crew. We then see a customs inspection gone awry, but later resolved as night settles in. And then lastly, we see Helwig and Milligan having a meeting with a man over some burgers and some beer. And for our opening sequence now, as the credits finish rolling by, we see the sun rising over Beta Canum, casting its light down onto a lowered stretch of land, a roughly circular depression hundreds and hundreds of meters across. A runway extends in one direction on one side of the depression, while another runs in another angle from another side. In the depression itself are a number of landing pads, hangar berths, and of course the building everyone should easily identify as the main starport itself. A gate crawls open as a number of medium-sized semi-trucks pass through, 3 of them sticking together and heading towards the pad designated for the Iron Jolly. Sometime later, the sun a little bit higher in the sky, a number of smaller trucks, looking more like rugged off-road jeeps and pickups, enters the starport, also heading for the same landing pad as the semi. And then we see the date appears on the screen. Friday, the 19th of February, 2298. So, I took a little bit of creative liberty. I know when we last left our show, you guys were, I think we closed more or less about the time you finished dinner plans with Jacoby. My original intent was for you guys to spend a little bit of time meeting up with a couple of different rental agencies to grab some vehicles, because Jacoby had the 3 trucks that are each going to take one of the 3 pallets, but he also wanted you guys to run around in your own little we'll just say 4x4s for lack of a better thing to call it. These are not 4x4 like quads or what have you, but like 4x4 trucks, pickups.
Like 3/4 tons or
Yeah.
1-ton trucks.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah. If you look in one of the core rule books, let me get to the right thing here. God damn it. If
The
you look,
range truck.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, the Houston Motors range truck. That was one. That one, or the previous page had the Bridgeport Swift Piper Personal, I think, was the other one I was looking at as options. And I had, of course, prepped a whole bunch of different things for this, but long and short of it is you guys will be in, anywhere from 1 to 3 of those. Figure out who's gonna go on this expedition and who's gonna stay on the ship to continue, your normal starport ship activity things. So quick discussion. I'm assuming Milligan as support team lead is probably going. I'm assuming Helwig as the direct action team is going, along with Blaine, Spearman, and Aiello. But I don't know who else would be going as your quote-unquote security element for these 3 semis, and how exactly you want to set it up, I guess.
That's going to boil down to who has the skills to help with that, because we're definitely expecting trouble.
Yeah, trouble is definitely a possibility. So honestly, you've got Blaine, Spearman, and Aiello, which is your fire team. led by
Yeah.
Hellwig, who is former semi-cop.
Yeah.
That would leave the Wyatts, Tran, Tillman, and Gray. And they really are much more like Gray maybe could handle a pistol because he does have some military experience. I believe it was mentioned that he was in like the British Space Force, whatever the British Space Force was called. Probably something like His Majesty's Star Force or some shit, but whatever. But Tran and Tillman and Alia never appeared to have, that I can recall, any sort of military experience. And obviously George Wyatt didn't have any military experience. He was always a merchant. So it would make sense for them to stay back, but I don't want to speak on their behalf, as it were, in case you guys had different ideas.
Well, seeing as how he was shot the last 2 times we were out, I think he probably gets a pass.
Just leave him back at the ship. Got it. I feel like Wyatt would be like, "Oh, thank God," because I'm pretty sure if I don't get shot, my wife is gonna nag me the whole damn time anyway.
Right. And then I think or the one cat that has the pistol, we could probably take him and have him ride shotgun or something.
You're talking about Gray?
Gray, yeah.
Yeah, Gray
and
could.
He maybe work comms if we got some radio comms, because I think Gray's the communication guy we have.
Yeah, he was your commo/sensors guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could put Gray in there, and so that would be. In fact, you would I mean, you could break it down however you want. You could take up to 3 vehicles. You've got a team of, let me see, Gray, Milligan, and then that's 6 people. So you could take up to 3 with a driver and passenger in each one. You could do 2 with 3 in each. You could get really fancy if you want and put 2 trucks, mount some light machine gun type thing on top of it, and have a 3-person gun truck sort of deal if you wanted to. These trucks, just for the record, it doesn't specify in the book, but it wouldn't take a lot of effort to put anything smaller than a light machine gun up on top of the vehicle with a driver or with a gunner semi sort of turreting out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you look at the description and the images and stuff like that, it feels like it wouldn't be that far-fetched to have something like that available. Of course, that decision is entirely up to you. You can just have a truck that is, fairly decent for off-road ATV stuff, and then everybody just loaded to the gills, sitting inside waiting for the moment, wishing a motherfucker would.
Right.
Which is almost what this sounds like now. I'm picturing that one scene in Sicario when they come back through the border.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said with more trucks, we could bring fewer guns to bear immediately. So in one sense, it's more advantageous to put more people per truck and take fewer trucks. But then again, if we lose a truck, it would be more advantageous for us to have another truck. So
welcome. The United States military would like to know your location. just to see if you could crack that code, because I'll tell you, we always rolled out with like 4 to 5 vehicles almost at a minimum. I think the absolute minimum was 3 vehicles. Like, there was no getting around that.
Yeah. So I think it's probably better to take like just 2 people per truck and take 3 trucks.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but again, I'm letting you guys run this part.
No, that sounds valid to me. I think doing it that way would be a good idea myself.
Okay.
We just have it built up that way.
All right. So the next question is what we.
Oh wait.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
There's also Chip.
Are you bringing Chip?
Oh yeah, his robot friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're expected to get into a firefight that we're not legally allowed to get into in the first place, why not go ahead and have Chip there too?
Well, okay, so that's a valid question. You have the option of bringing him with you. You also have the option, obviously, of leaving him back in some sort of security mode at the ship. That would free up the Wyatts, Tillman, and Tran to do what they got to do to make sure the ship is prepped and ready for takeoff once you guys get back tomorrow.
Well, I'll probably leave Milo there for that, and I'll turn, directions.
What the hell is little laser dot on the wall gonna do?
It's gonna burn holes and stuff.
That's an interesting way to phrase it, but okay.
Yeah.
Charles, are you good with your connectivity there?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Just the normal
I'm
hiccups
good.
that we experience with you?
Yeah, just the normal hiccup. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's your guys'
Well,
choice? I just wanted to throw it out there. Like, I mean, because I know Chip was intended as a form of security. So
right.
by leaving him in charge of basically all the security of the ship, that gives everybody else a chance to do everything that they got to do. But
Well,
like I said, it's entirely up to you.
so Milo, people might look at him and consider him less than Chip because he's not, humanoid or
He's a cat.
whatever, but he's every bit as intelligent and all that as Chip is.
Sure.
He's not as skilled, simply because I kept costs down on him so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he was like
Well, it's
less
a
less
cat.
than
You're not going
30
to pay all
grand.
that much money for him. I'm
I don't know.
joking.
You could. That would surprise the crap out of somebody.
You certainly would.
But he's such a small size, you can't armor him very much. So I didn't
Yeah.
really want to outfit him as a full blown combat kitten. Uh,
Jesus Christ.
so he's just got
Combat
that
kitten.
that P3 laser in his tail, so he can do some damage because that's like 3 shots around or whatever.
Okay.
So I think I'll leave him there for security stuff. I'll turn control on calling out enemy combatants to Wyatt or somebody there on the ship, so they can direct him appropriately.
Okay. So you left one of the you left George in charge of
Milo, yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So refresher slash review of the plan. You've got about 1,000 kilometers to drive. It will take you roughly 10 hours, probably a bit more than that because you'll have to stop a couple of times, etc., etc. So, assuming 100 kilometers per hour, it's a 10-hour drive to Bayview with 2 planned stops along the way. Jacoby has indicated that the first stop is supposed to be about 1 o'clock, which will be time for lunch and to stretch everyone's legs. And this is roughly 4 hours into the drive. And then Jacoby wants to be on the road and moving again by 2 o'clock. The second stop will be roughly 5 o'clock for dinner and to refuel. And this stop should be completed by 6:30 at the latest, with 3 hours remaining on the drive. At this point, so basically what happens, unless anybody has anything else they want to add, effectively what happens is, as it was shown in the opening scene, the 3 trucks come in, and then they've got a couple of loaders that come out and lift up the pallets and scoot them onto the trucks, probably one at a time. The trucks will stage off to one side of the ship, and then you guys will come in after your brief excursion into New Middlesex to find a rental agency that will accommodate you and provide you with the vehicles you're looking for. Either one of you, give me a recon social, please.
Okay. Six.
What are we looking at?
Recon adds. That's a 7.
Okay. All right. Nothing crazy, nothing weird, nothing out of the ordinary by either of you is detected there while you're out and about looking for these vehicles. You might find it a little strange that some of these vehicles are almost but not quite military grade or military prepped, meaning that they could take light weaponry on top, almost as if there was ring turrets and things of that nature. But knowing that some people take these vehicles out into the back end of nowhere in a very literal sense, it's not terribly unsurprising, if that makes any sense at all. So you do Bonakapisai. Please tell me I'm not the only one that remembers that commercial.
I don't.
Charles should.
Sorry.
No worries.
Wait, which one was that?
Bonakapisai.
Oh,
I want to say it's like from. I want to say it was like an old Pizza Hut or Domino's commercial.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At any rate, I'm showing my age here.
Right.
And Charles is, because he was right there with me. He just couldn't quite nail it down. Fuck, now I'm derailed. Where am I? Hold on. Let me think about it. Hold on. I'm almost there. I'm bringing it back in. Yeah, so you end up with your vehicles. You get your guys sorted out. I was going to ask about who's sitting where, but I'm just going to assume that you've probably got something like Hellwig and Spearman in one vehicle, Aiello and Blaine in another, and then Milligan and Gray and Chip in the third. Excuse me. Does that sound about right, or do we really need to hash that out?
No,
No,
that
that
sounds
sounds
fine
about
with
right.
me.
Okay. What'd you say, Thorgor?
I said that sounds about right with me. Are these vehicles jackable?
Define jackable.
Can I
Oh,
jack in? Yeah, because that's going to make a
I
big difference. Because I don't have any
go
skill
ahead,
in
make
any
your
kind of
50-50
driving.
roll on a 4 plus. This vehicle has your super cyborg ports.
Oh, you gave me my. Hang on, you gave me my slot back. Just a second.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I meant to, I always change and I forgot this one time.
You said a 1d4? I mean a
No, no,
1d6?
1d6 on a 4 plus. Just keep it at 50 simple. There you go. You've
Boom!
got
All
your
right.
super cyborg auxiliary ports.
So that's probably going to mean I'm driving.
Sure.
And that's going to give me just a.
As you sit there with your hands resting on your lap while you're rolling down the road, controlling
Yeah.
the vehicle strictly by your mind.
It's going to
You
give me a
no,
0
you
overall. Because I get
no
plus
answer.
2 for vehicle skill checks,
Uh-huh.
and I have a +1 dex. Although if it's intelligent, it's still +1. So yeah. So yeah, I'll have a 0 skill.
Because you don't have a driving skill at all?
No, I don't have a driving skill at all.
Oh
But I
yeah,
can.
that does balance out. Okay.
Yep.
I'll remember that because you're
So
definitely gonna go
I'll
flying off of a
drive.
mountain now.
Well, hey, yeah, we'll have Chip in the back, so that he can shoot, from the back.
Yeah.
And he's got one of those AS 89s or whatever that thing was called.
I don't remember off the top of my head what that is.
Yeah, that assault rifle that we got off of the
Oh, the French
Durandal.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's
Excuse me.
got that. I've got Betty in the cab with me,
That's your sniper
and
rifle, right?
yep. So we should be good
What is
there.
it? SVD or some shit?
SVB. Yep.
Oh, B. That was pretty
Yep.
damn close. 2 out of 3 ain't
Uh huh.
half bad.
Nope. It even
Uh,
rhymed. So.
so yeah, so you guys, you gather everybody up, you get everybody in their seats. I'm assuming you guys are probably going somewhere close to fully loaded, armed and armored, because you know that there is the potential for a problem later on down the road. And not for nothing, you are literally crossing something like 1,000 kilometers of wide open wilderness that is not very well settled or regulated or maintained.
Right.
Uh, you drive through the city of New Middlesex, getting through the traffic from the starport to the city limits where things might start opening up, especially once you get out on the main highway. As you can imagine, driving from any major city airport to the edge of the city to catch the main highway to get the fuck out of the main city and out into the boonies where you really want to be, it's rough. It's I mean, it's basically it's a Friday morning. So okay, so it's Friday morning, so it's not always packed, and there's gaps, there's stretches of open road, but then as soon as you get up to speed, you're like, fuck, I gotta slow down because here's another goddamn traffic jam. Because it's like 10 o'clock in the morning by the time you guys get rolling, or 9, I mean. But yeah, ultimately you finally make it outside your city or outside of the city on the main highway, and it is pretty chill. It's a pretty pleasant drive for the first few hours at least. You've got some rolling forested hills. Occasionally, you've got a nice little vista. You see some signs where it's like scenic overlook off next exit, shit like that. Open road over relatively level land before climbing a ridge and then descending down into a dark, mostly untouched forest, and then coming back out later. 10 or 20 minutes later, you're back through the forest. In this road, it looks pretty well maintained, and it looks like there is a very conscious effort applied in attempting to leave as minimal of an impact on the terrain and the nature as humanly possible when laying down this road. You drive for about 4 hours. It is just open vista. You could probably see a few very small towns like off in the distance, or signs for towns off in the distance. We've all driven through the middle part of the United States, so we know exactly what we would see. The only difference is what kind of terrain you'd be crossing over, and in this case, you got a lot of rolling forested hills. Is pretty much what you get. When you come to a stop at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you approach a small town perched on the edge of a rocky hill spur and located near a forested lake and stream. And you stop here for about an hour. to get lunch and literally stretch your legs out if you want. Like, you've got a full hour to kill. I will open it up for the moment for any sort of RP that you would like to do to cover this first few hours on the road and the actual rest stop itself. I'd leave it entirely up to you.
The only thing I'm going to be doing on the road drive is just admiring the absolute beauty of the planet and the lack of civilization and the fact that there's no scary monsters, and whoever's riding with me, just remembering Grendel and the scary monster tunnel.
Scary monster tunnel.
And then, you know, when we get to the rest stop, I'm gonna basically say, you know, tell my action team to take a zone or a perimeter, but don't look like they're taking a perimeter. Like,
just fly casual. Don't pull security casually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Third Guard, you got anything you want to conjecturalize?
Well, I'm driving, so I'm gonna, focus on my driving because I can't focus on anything else while I'm jacked in like that anyway. So
no, all you know is the feel of the road, the bends, the rises, the dips. Every now and again, you'll feel the pothole as if somebody just nudged you in the kidney.
So once we get to our rest stop,
very literally, I might add. I was kind of being sarcastic, but now I think about it, no, you're literally jacked into this vehicle. You probably would feel something like that.
Probably.
Or like when you're going down a flight of stairs and you think there's one more step to descend, but there isn't. You're actually at the bottom floor, and you're like, "Fuck, that stop."
And once we get to the rest stop, I will set Chip out, to on Overwatch. I'll make sure everybody's getting fed and nobody's, are you hydrated?
That's a real question to ask, especially on a road trip.
So I'll go over to Hellwig and I'll ask him. I said, "Hey, did you see like any of these big black cat kind of creatures or anything on the way out here? I've been looking." When I haven't, but that's what I tell him.
You're trying to play it off like you aren't super cyborg jacked into the truck. Okay.
Big black cat looking. No.
I said, yeah, there's some scary shit here, man. It's not like a dragon bat or anything, but I don't know. So I read something about like laying eggs in people and all that kind of weird stuff.
I'm gonna look at him kind of side-eyed and squinty-eyed and then just do the whole Robert De Niro from Analyze This and go, "You guy, you're funny guy."
No, really.
Yeah, I think
little armored dogs.
I think at this point, Aiello comes up. He's like, "What? What are you talking about, man? That doesn't sound real. That's some bullshit. Don't listen to him, Fritz. I don't know what he's talking about."
He's like, "I can't remember what they call them. I just know they're like midnight black. They're predators. They lay eggs and stuff. Yeah, but they can't eat us. But they don't know that." So
I'm laughing. That was me laughing, not Aiello, by the way, because that sort of thing is mentioned a number of times across any of the 2300 materials. That different amino acids and enzymes and shit like that, and it's like they can still eat you. They just don't realize it's not going to do a damn thing for them except make them poop more.
Yeah, it'll pass. Sometimes it's like poisonous, and then other times it's just indigestible.
Yeah.
The pentapods make this weird little. It's like a tribble kind of, except it has a face, and you can like feed it stuff, and it's like geared to a human or whatever. So if it eats it, it's okay to eat it, and if they don't, it's not, kind of thing. And this planet, all the chirality of the DNA is reversed. So
I remember reading that a couple of times. The chirality is the spiral act, like it spirals basically to the left or to the right, as the case may be.
No, there's some weird shit here too.
Oh yeah, there's always weird shit on these planets. I think Charles is probably happy that we're not playing Alien RPG, because that would be. Let me stop. Anything else we want to do here before we resume? Everybody get the chance to eat, stretch your legs, use the restroom, get something to drink. Either silence is consent or I lost people. Uh-oh.
So, other than that, we're just going to keep a lookout. get
I
a
did
rest
not hear
on,
a
and
thing. Did I lose you guys for a second?
you must have because we've been talking to each
Yeah,
Yeah.
other.
and I lost. Oh, I did lose internet. Oh, my stream is trying to restart. There it
Uh-oh.
goes. Okay, I think we're still good. I think we're still good. Let me see what happens when I.
Okay.
You might need to reload the table.
Well, is it not showing up in the what you call it?
I'm not seeing it right now, but I just
Let
told it to
me.
search again.
Oh yeah, I
Oh, yep,
got
there it goes. It
booted.
just dumped me too. So give me just a second here.
Okay.
Let me before I hit the next screen. Let me put that up really quick because it does have my password on it. All right. Sorry about that, viewers. It wouldn't be an Omar Krieg show if we didn't suffer some sort of crazy calamity. Anybody that watched my Alien RPG Start show, like the series premiere, oh my god. There was, I had like 3 or 4 fucking times I had to like restart the server, or not the server, but the show because just couldn't keep connectivity that night because I guess it was pretty windy or rainy or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Table is back up. I am changing my colors so Thurgor can have his uniquely marked dice roller pad thing. Oh, I got disconnected again.
Yeah, the table isn't coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just got disconnected a second time.
I started to get in and it booted me. So
Yeah, I don't know what's exactly is going on here. And I just showed everybody the password for the table. All right, if that doesn't work,
Everybody, come on in.
is the table up? It shouldn't be up. I'm not up right now.
No, it's not. No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay,
No.
gotcha.
It's not showing on the server list or anything.
Because I got it loaded enough to like move the little blue figure that we've been using as your "this is where we are" marker, and load the beta canon map like I'm reloading it now. And then it dumped me a second time, and I was like, "You motherfucker!" All right, I think we got it.
I've actually had some other lag tonight, but I'm also multitasking, so that's probably more it than anything else.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I noticed that for some reason Discord on my main computer, Discord and tabletop don't always talk well. And like I said, looking online, they said that if you have too much things happening, that they're all fighting for resources on a computer unless you have like a really great.
Yeah, you have to have a pretty good setup to be able to handle the bandwidth. Table is back up. The stream is, I hope, back up. I don't know what the viewers are missing. My streaming session is reconnected a couple times. The video has remained recording, so we're all good to go as far as I can tell on this side of things. We'll see how this pans out shortly. Or if it doesn't pan out, yes, it's really the more accurate statement there.
Uh-huh.
All right, Charles is back.
Looks like we're all back in. Yep,
Milligan
I'm
is
back
back. Or not Milligan, Thruor. Okay. All right. So the question I had asked, but I did not hear the answer to, is basically, are we ready to resume? Everybody having had a chance to eat, drink, stretch, use the restroom, etc. And then
Yeah.
you guys
Yes.
started to answer, but I didn't catch any of it because hiccups.
Well, after we talked about all the scary stuff, that was pretty much the gist of it.
Right.
Right. So at about 1 o'clock or so, you guys resume your drive for, you still got a few hours to go and whatnot. It's pretty much a repeat of the same thing. Some of the terrain is a little bit different. It starts getting a little bit more mountainous. Not like high elevation in the mountains, but you could tell you're moving along a little bit of a mountain range. Are we losing more people? I keep hearing the pops.
No, it booted me for some reason, so
Yeah.
But that could be you or me or any other reason, so okay.
No.
Yeah, so you continue on. You are going through, like I said, a little bit more mountainous terrain. There is some change in elevation, but nothing like drastic. You're not like climbing to the top of one mountain and then descending down the other side of it. But you do know there's a stretch of road that curves, and then curves back and then climbs up, climbs down. We've all driven over mountains, of course, so we know how that works as well. Or I'm assuming we all have. I know I have several times.
Yeah.
At one point, there is a stretch of the road that curves sharply around a rock outcropping as it passes through yet more mountainous terrain. As it comes around the corner, there's an open stretch leading upwards. And it should be noted that there are no other vehicles on the road besides you guys. I mean, this is not abnormal. It's been like this for a few hours. Like you encounter some traffic as you come close to some town or an exit for a town, but then after a while it dissipates and it's just you guys on the road again. You truly, truly, truly are out in the middle of nowhere at this point. But you come around a bend, and the road ahead of you, there is some elevation, like the road is going higher ahead of you. And it should be noted that here are... Oh god, hold on, I'm getting my notes confused. Sorry. It should be noted that you haven't seen any vehicles in either direction on the highway in the last hour, and that you have seen road signs that indicate that you need to... if you need to get gas, it's now or never. Those typical signs.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like as you come around this last curve, it's a pretty sharp curve and it's a blind curve because of the nature of the rock outcropping. But as you come around this turn, the lead 6x6 truck, the three medium-sized semis, I guess is how I described them earlier. The lead one eats an RPG and immediately veers off to the side of the road. It stops safely, like it doesn't like go flying off the mountain or anything silly like that. But it definitely just took a RPG to the face and has abruptly stopped in a very precarious angle compared to the direction of the road.
I'm going to drop real quick and rejoin because my dice roller's not working.
Your dice roller is not working?
It won't increase the number of dice. It won't roll. Wait.
I rolled that.
No, it did. You rolled. Well, I can't, though. Oh, wait. Did you just change it to 2?
I did not. It's catching up with you now, I think.
Oh, it's working now. Okay, good.
All
right, bet. Use all the dice pads now. I'm just going to continue. Yeah, so, coming around a tight turn, the lead truck. Now, I don't know we never talked about marching order, or order of march, but I imagine at least one of y'all's trucks is in the lead, but still, there's one of these big trucks takes the hit.
Okay.
Jacoby is over whatever local radio set that you guys are on. He's like, what the shit? Like, all right, hey, get perimeter, get, where'd it come from? And put fire on it.
Right.
So which truck is in the lead? Do we just need to determine that randomly at this point?
Which of the three of your guys' trucks? Yes. Well, not randomly. Like, quickly figure it out, or otherwise I'm just going to pick one randomly.
I'll be in the lead.
Okay.
And I'll let the non-driver be kind of tail end Charlie.
Okay.
All right.
Did that lead truck see where the RPG came from? Because it whizzed right past him, didn't it?
No, I didn't run. It did not whiz right past him. It whizzed right into him. Oh, you're talking about...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking about the range trucks. Yeah. We would have had a range truck in the lead. We would have had a range truck in the back, and we would have had another one swapping spots or whatever at different times.
Yep.
But you said, so whoever the lead range truck is probably stole the RPG.
Give me your intelligence recon roll, please.
All right.
And hope you don't miss it.
All right, I just roll, but it's being laggy.
That's because you're being laggy. I caught up.
Well,
no, I didn't. I realized it sounded smartassy, but didn't specifically mean that. When I said that, you were definitely in the 3 days. Well, shit. Yeah, you don't.
That's a 14.
Yeah,
that's a 14.
Yeah. Fuck off. So you don't see where the RPG comes from. You see the motherfucker that shot it, and you could replay it in your mind that this motherfucker basically somebody standing next to him pointing. He fires, you can actually see the rocket coming, and you are actually reaching for the radio before Jacoby actually says, RPG front, fucking, get set perimeter, put fire on it. And And of course, by this point, the RPG's already gone off, and you're just sitting there with a hand on the radio, going, "I was literally about to say that, but whatever." They are directly in front of you. As I mentioned, the road comes around this turn and then starts going upwards, uphill or what have you. And there is an opening ahead of you, about 300 meters or so. And there, in this clearing along the side of the road, is 3 light trucks. Hang on, let me double check this. There's a larger truck similar to your guys' Range Star, or whatever the fuck it's called, and then there are 3 smaller trucks, similar to the other ones that I had mentioned offhandedly in the book. The 3 smaller trucks appear to have. Oh, hold on. Jesus Christ! I should have reviewed my notes before we started this.
That's okay.
As this RPG smacks into the truck, the 3 lighter trucks start swooping down the embankment towards you guys. Like they're spread out. There's probably like a couple hundred meters between them, and they're not paying attention to like what's the road and what's the shoulder. They're just trying to take up as much space as they can and swoop down. So you've got these 3 lighter trucks coming down at you. Each one of them has a dude with what looks like an assault rifle sticking out the passenger side. Shooting at you. And then you've got the 4th big truck kind of hanging in the back, but it's also moving forward, but it's kind of like lumbering slowly forward, like not committing to the main fight, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
What is your initial response at this point? You've got Helwig in the lead. You've got the 3 Jacoby's 3 trucks are basically. So the 1 truck got hit, pulled off to the side of the road. The other 2 come up on either side of it to give it cover, so they can assess what they need to do, whether they need to move the cargo somehow, whether they can try to spot fix it on the spot, or if they need to actually start throwing guns into the fight as well. So they are not in combat action. They're assessing the damages. That leaves you, Helwig, in the front, and then the other 2 vehicles scattered further back.
So I'm going to make a call that, again, we have contact.
In fact, let me keep talking and figuring out what you guys want to do. I'm going to do something a little weird here. Not weird.
Ooh.
Well, not weird, but I'm going to try to have something of a visual representation, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, so yeah, I'm going to make a call that there's contact front, that we have, basically give a quick, there's 3 trucks ahead, looks like 2 lightweight trucks, one Hilux with a whole bunch of guys with guns. We needed to drop and get out of our way, and probably start giving direction that we need to consider. Having maybe I'll have Milligan hang around by the semis.
Oh, I guess I need to create the semis too, just for.
Yeah. So I'll have Milligan's team hang around the semis, because he can reach out and touch someone.
Yep, that was my plan.
With his friends, and then the rest of us will go
reach out and touch someone with his friend.
Yeah.
With Betty.
And then the rest of us will turn around and. All
right. So I've tried to give you at least some sort of visual reference. So obviously the blue one is the player character team. The green ones are Jacoby's people. The red ones are obviously the bad guys.
Right.
The 3 small vehicles that are swooping down, each of them has effectively an assault rifle sticking out the passenger side window. The middle one has a dude who's kind of like poking his head up through the top of the cab with the RPG. And as they're swooping down, he is currently ducked back down. Theoretically, he could be switching weapons or reloading the RPG, or maybe just not wanting to be exposed. It's uncertain what he's doing. And then, like I said, the 4th vehicle, which is in the back, is kind of lingering back a little bit.
I'll call that out to Milligan that the shooter is in that center truck, and I don't care. I mean, Betty can probably put some hurt into there. So if he sees this guy pop back up, that's a primary threat to drop him.
Yep. So that'll be my goal. Is if that guy pops back up, no matter what he has, that's who I'll be shooting at.
Okay.
I'm going to instruct Chip to engage the smaller trucks, the people firing out of the smaller trucks,
Uh-huh.
the armed individuals. So he'll just start, picking out those.
Okay.
And who else was with us? Was it Tillman?
Uh,
No,
Gray,
right?
and he's in
Yeah,
your truck
Gray.
as a
Yeah,
passenger with a pistol.
right. So I tell Gray to stick with the truck. Try to stay in cover. If you get a shot of opportunity, take it. But I know his range is pretty limited with a
Oh,
pistol.
it's
So
really limited, and you guys are currently
yep,
sitting at about 200 to 300 meters minimum distance.
yep.
I do want to
So I'm
kind
gonna
of.
jet right up to our big trucks. That's
Okay,
and
so
we'll
go ahead,
disembark from
take the
there.
blue markers and roughly position them where they would be. I tried to get these guys a little bit closer to each other, but because they're supposed to be almost like not butt, you know what I mean, like door to door almost at this point.
Yeah.
I do want to do kind of an abbreviated combat, not necessarily full blown combat rules. So basically, what it's going to amount to is you declare an action, you make a roll. I declare an action, I make a roll, and that's it. Not just one single action for the entire team, but like your character will effectively have one major action and one roll to go with it, and then whatever ultimately the overall dice rolling trend is how the fight will go. So to further illustrate what's going on as well is as these guys are swooping down, somebody in this back vehicle, it has basically gotten on some form of the local citizens band radio that everybody is tied into for, narrative thematic reasons, and also, nobody thinks about how radios really work. And is
Right.
saying something to the effect of, Joseph Milligan, come out, surrender yourself, and this will all be over. We are only here for you. We don't care about anybody else, but I promise you, if you resist, I've got zero problem harming anybody else here. We only want you. And then he basically repeats that a few more times, various slight word changes, but the message is clear.
All right. I'm just gonna shout or yell loudly in German. To basically
Go
kiss
fuck
my
yourself.
shiny kiss my shiny metal posterior, and that we have more than willing to go down swinging. And I'm gonna ask the Jacoby to assess the one truck and see if we can get going, because we may just end up loading everybody up on the other two and go eastbound and down as fast as we can to go.
Okay. Mr. Milligan, you have been
Yep.
very personally and very specifically called out. And the message is something to the effect of, if you surrender, this is the end of it. Your friends will be fine, no harm, we all leave. We can almost pretend like this didn't happen, except you're coming with us. Or there'll be a hailstorm of fire and bullets and possibly blood. I
So,
would be curious to know what your response is. Also, do
so
keep
I'll,
in mind that as a temper to the scenario, do keep in mind that in a normal situation, you may be thinking slightly different, knowing this would be a full-blown combat if it weren't for this being the last episode. Although, theoretically, with this being the last episode, you could just be like, fuck it, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. Fuck you guys.
well, here's the deal. Initially, my thought was, fine, I'll do that. But then I'm thinking, they tried to kill us all already once.
They being
You
the
know,
Empire of Mankind or some other
right?
entity?
Which I assume this is who this is, because who else is going to know who I am? Um,
Well, it's funny how you would ask that question, but I'm not going to divulge that just
well,
yet.
there's Blackwatch and all that other stuff too.
Yeah.
Um,
There's also
Oh
a
yeah, you're painting
whole
targets on us all the time.
there's a
do what?
whole press conference I'm suddenly reminded of. Please continue.
But I'm figuring it's Empire of Mankind. They've tried to kill all of us at one point before, so their word doesn't mean a whole lot. I don't trust them to let everybody else go. And that's not
Come
a I
on,
want to save my
Joe.
own life thing
I can call
because
you
my first
Joe, right? Listen,
do
I
what?
know you don't know me. I'm nobody. You can call me Liao. Okay? Honestly, man, just come forward, leave your weapons in your truck, let my guys take you in. Done and over. We'll peel out of here, and we'll never see the rest of your people again. You're the only one I want here. You're the one with the pay ticket in your pocket. He's trying to goad you out, if you can't tell.
Oh, I know. I say stick with the plan.
This conversation, of course, takes Jesus Christ, takes the course of about a few minutes. And at the end of it, the dude in the center truck pops his head back up with yet another RPG.
Okay.
He will be firing his RPG at Hellwig's vehicle. The other two smaller trucks on the outside will be engaging with their assault rifles generally into the roughly here and here. And then lastly, if you'll notice, during this conversation, somebody has popped up with a light machine gun at the center top of the bigger truck in the back, and they will also be firing generally in this direction.
Of course they have.
Because
Yes,
after a moment, Mr. Liao Kauth realizes that this is not going to go anywhere further without some more bullets and mayhem. So basically told his guys, fuck it, shoot him up. So I have declared my intentions. The vehicles, of course, are still moving forward. They've kind of swooped out a bit. Actually, so this guy's probably gotten a bit more here-ish. This guy's gotten probably about here, and this guy's gotten about here. Obviously, they're attempting to funnel you and keep you from trying to get away too easily. Actually, it's probably further back.
I mean, are we on like a narrow cliff road, or are we on like a
You've
two-lane
got
highway?
room to maneuver. You can drive off the road, through the shoulder. But it's like any other highway in the middle of nowhere. You don't have a cliff, but there's probably like a bit of a ditch. So getting around is not going to be terribly easy. These trucks are a bit rugged. They could probably make it, but it might be a little bouncy. It might require a dice roll to navigate it. Otherwise, you're going to end up tipped over or some dumb shit.
Right. Okay.
You do have. I will say this: if your intent is to basically flip a bitch and try to get out of here, that will be your one action / dice roll. So that is an option. I'm just throwing it out there. It is an option if you want to do that. And I'm not gonna, for the record, I'm not gonna limit it strictly to just one action, one dice roll, just for the sake of the story. But I was attempting to abbreviate it heavily compared to a normal combat round or exchange.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking again, getting everyone loaded up on one or semis and just if we can hit one and push off the side, and it would just go rolling down the cliff and enjoy itself that way.
Yeah. So as a normal video game, we have the cutscene where there's Liao Kauth trying to convince Joseph Milligan to give himself up. And there might be a couple of pop shots in the background as the dialogue continues. And then when Thurgor selects his final dialogue option, and it's basically, no, go fuck yourself, we hear as the cutscene ends, before the player is now released to be able to move again, we hear Jacoby like, hey, the truck, it took a hit in the windshield, and the windshield cross member frame. We can go. These guys are, I got a guy, swapping out the driver right now. Let's get the fuck out of here if we ain't got to stick around. Let's go. We could cut through the trees and get back on the road heading the other way.
Head the other way.
Back, so I've been trying to keep it generally vague, but theoretically, again, highway in the middle of nowhere. If you go back several miles, there'll be a road, and now you're on a cross-country road, and then it'll eventually doubles back to the highway. Maybe you can find a way around these guys.
Oh, okay.
That's what Jacoby's trying to get at.
Okay, then that's what I'll do. I'll tell with the team in my Hilux, and I'll call the other Hilux that has the Wonder Twins in it.
Nope, I split the Wonder Twins on purpose because I figured you didn't want two dumbass privates in control of one vehicle.
Right.
So it's Blaine and Spearman. I'm guessing you put them in the rear because that would put Milligan more in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll tell Milligan to take a couple quick pot shots, drop the RPG gunner, and then drop the light machine gunner, and I'll call Blaine and Milligan up with their Hilux, and I'll yell at Jacoby to flip him, and let's go down the country road, go as fast as you can go, and then we're just gonna light them up as we try to withdraw.
All right, if you mouse over the 3 blue markers, you'll see that I've got the names of the people inside of them. Hopefully, I got the names right.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, and because I was paying attention to that, I caught bits and pieces of what you were just saying. Could you give me that one more time, just so I can?
All right, so I'm going to tell Milligan to take a pot shot at the RPG gunner again.
Okay.
And if you can't see them, then shoot the light machine gunner, and then call for Blaine and Spearman to come up in their Hilux. We're gonna stand at ours, and then just start, tell Jacoby to take his semis, flip them, out. Go down, get the heck out of Dodge. We're gonna
bring up
provide fire and retreat. Yep. Milligan plays catch up, and then we'll do a running gun battle. I'll tell my best gunner to get in the back, my best driver to get in one, and so forth, and we'll just drive like madmen. We're shooting in the back.
So basically,
go.
So your intent is that you guys basically draw fire, allowing Jacoby's people to exit, and once they get out, you're going to try to follow suit. Is that what I'm hearing? It sounds like what's okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So I have a plan for that. Let's do this. First, you're going to make your attack roll for either Hellwig or the other truck, and then we'll do Milligan, and then we'll do my people, and then we'll make a roll to see if Jacoby gets out. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then if you have any, so this is what we'll do for this round, air quotes. I don't think we got a whole lot of movement going on, so I'm not going to force any drive checks. So this will be strictly combat rolls. Hellwig, is Hellwig driving or is Aiello driving?
Let me see. Let me take a look at my character sheet real quick. I think
you've got a decent driving, but and Aiello's got some decent combat skills. I don't have anything down for drive, so I'm just gonna put him at a drive 0 mod.
Yeah, so I'll drive and he can shoot. So, and tell him to basically strap in the back and jump in the back in the bed of the Hilux, and then let's and I'll toss him my gun too, so that way he can easily.
He can dual wield.
If not dual wheel, at least drop one when he runs out of rounds, and then
Okay. All right. Aiello with rifle is a +2 total mod. Let me double check that. Sorry, I forgot to look at one other thing. I looked at his skill and I forgot his dex mod. Oh no, it is a +2 total. So go ahead and make your roll for Aiello.
Okay.
That is a total of a 9. I'm gonna need some scritchy. So give me a second so I can kind of keep tallies here. Round 1 player. That, and then you have +1 effect so far. And then Milligan, you're sniping at the RPG guy.
RPG guy. Yep.
Yeah.
And I let Chip know to.
Oh, I forgot about Chip.
To follow up if this guy didn't go down or whatever.
Or at the very least, blast the fuck out of that vehicle in particular.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and make your roll there, Milligan. What kind of mods are we looking at here for you? Because I know you're going to try to do... I'm jacked into the truck, but I'm also going to multitask with a USB splitter, and I'm going to jack into my rifle as well. So let's hear it. Let's hear it, tech guy.
I thought it took us like 2 minutes or whatever. Have we not been able to disembark from the vehicle at this point?
You can dismount if you choose to. Although now my understanding of the situation is, we had this quote unquote cutscene. It's just been basically flash cutting back and forth from one person sitting in their truck to the other person sitting in their truck. If you want to dismount, you can, but also you guys are trying to get the fuck out of here. So maybe dismounting is not the greatest of ideas.
Well, when we first got to the trucks, that was my goal, was to dismount and get behind cover.
Okay.
And then the call came out for us to get the hell out of here, but then these guys are bearing down
so
on
yeah,
us, so
we can argue. Yeah, we can argue that Milligan is currently on the ground, reaching for his sniper rifle to return fire, while you guys are at this point becoming the distraction, so that Jacoby and his people can get out.
Yep.
Okay, I can live with that. What you got?
So
what kind of mods you got? What kind of mods you got? I'm not gonna throw range modifiers and shit like that at you. It's just gonna be a flat roll. Your skill shit versus my skill shit.
Yeah, well, the range doesn't matter because the base range on this thing's 500 meters. So
Yeah, actually, you might get the short range because
yeah,
they're at
I probably
like
would.
2-ish 100 meters, which is half of that. However, I'm
Yep.
not going to apply those modifiers. We're just doing 8 plus with your whatever
So
your skill bonuses are.
yeah. So with the Neuralink, I've got +1 to hit. I was going to aim first since this is a single shot weapon anyway. So I'm going to aim with my minor action and shoot with my other one.
So that's a
I'm going to,
+2.
put the bipod on the hood of the truck.
Jesus,
Yep.
man. You're setting us
And
all up as small arms rounds are impacting all around you.
I was trained as a sniper, so
All
so
right.
that's +1 to hit with the Neuralink, +1 to hit with aiming,
2,
+1 for the bipod,
3,
+1 for the rifle skill, and with
+4,
my recent Dex mods, that's +2 more.
6. So you need
So
to
it's a
roll
total
it.
of
You
+6.
basically can't miss. You motherfucker.
Shush! Don't
You motherfucker.
don't
Yeah, if
say
you roll
that.
snake eyes, I'm not doing critical fail, critical success, but snake eyes and boxcars will be guaranteed miss or hit. So
Yeah, my thing's not working again.
is another pad working maybe? Or is it you?
Here,
I think it's
this
you.
my pad is not working. I don't know what's up with it. And I can't roll on another one. I could use these dice on the tower, I guess.
Yeah, do that. And we'll just have to
I don't
scoot the
like them as much.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you rolled a total of 8 flat. So 8, 14. So that's going to be a
Yep.
+6 effect. All right, who else is firing over here? We got somebody else shooting, I think.
Chip has to fire.
All right, what kind of mods is Chip? Oh my god, what kind of mods is Chip looking at? I'm sure it's like
It's not that big.
+92.
No, it's not. It's not
It's got
that
like
much.
I'm a robot not from space, but I'm a space not
Right.
from robot.
But if this guy went down, he's going to shoot at somebody else. He's going to shoot at one of the other door gunner guys.
Yeah, I think with that +6 and what? Just give me a rough idea. What kind of damage is that weapon doing with armor pen and all that?
It doesn't have AP, but it does 5D damage.
Okay.
So it's probably going to leave a smoking hole in him.
Well, let's just see what that might look like if I do 5 dice.
Plus my effect and all
I
that.
rolled. Oh yeah, with your
Fuck yeah.
+6, that's 26. I don't know if I actually wrote in how much armor my guys have. I know initially I'd planned
Not
for
that
them.
much.
Well, originally I had them having like a fairly decent amount of armor on them, but I apparently did not write that in here. I think it's safe to say that the RPG guy, effectively what happens is the RPG guy pokes his head back up, he starts lining up his shot, and then Blammo, Mr. Cyber Shooter over here, blasts him right through the metal of, or the fiber material of his helmet, and there is just a gap of a hole, like almost like a concave C looking thing of what's left of his head, and the body just slumps and blood just sprays everywhere. The RPG falls off the front of the truck, gets rolled over by the truck as the truck continues moving forward. Chip, go ahead and make your shit.
He only has a +3.
Okay, make your roll. Who
All
are you
right.
shooting at?
One of the other door gunner guys.
Okay. So you're talking about one of the 2 flanker vehicles?
Yeah,
Like this
I guess
one?
where am I? It would
this
probably
one.
be this one.
Which one are you?
Because,
you're in this one here. It would make more.
Yep.
I mean, just looking at the situation, it would make more sense to shoot that one.
Yep. Okay.
Not that it's going to matter a whole lot because this is mostly narrative or whatever you want to call it.
He should get 3 shots because it has auto fire.
If you're going to fire it in auto mode, you would get 3 rolls. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't want to do the 1 roll and add the bonus. I wanted to do the 3 separate rolls. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. So it'll be 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. With auto, it'll be 1 attack per auto rating, but there's no additional whatever's on it. Yeah, you don't get like effect damage on that, do you?
I think you get effect damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you don't get the +3 damage because it was a burst or auto or whatever the fuck. Because that would only be if it was burst damage or burst fired. All right. So 3 rolls, 8+, whatever his weapon skills are. What do we got?
He's got a +3 total.
Fuck! I gotta move the camera again. +3 total.
Yep.
All right.
+2 in the skill and +1 dex.
I'm gonna take these 3 rolls. I'm gonna take the average of them and apply them to the total effect of what you guys accomplished. Because this is considered a single attack. Let me zoom in a little bit. that a 10?
I can't tell.
That's a 10.
Oh yeah, that's a 10. So
So
that's
the
a
total
10.
roll is what? 10
That's a
plus
13.
13, so that's going to be a plus
Yep.
5. All right, go ahead and make another one.
Oops.
You got to select them.
Yeah.
There you go. Jesus Christ,
damn.
man. Fucking boxcars. So that's 12, that's 15, that's going to be 7.
Yeah.
Another
And a 10.
10. Jesus.
Chip is tearing them up.
Yeah, he is. That is a total of 17, which divided by 3 is 5 and some change. I'll call that a plus 6 total. All right. Well, is anybody else shooting on your team?
My team.
On
my
y'all's
team.
on the player team, we'll say.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
Gray is not until they get closer. Yeah.
Oh, you still have
I think-
the two in the back, Blaine or Spearman.
Spearman. I'm gonna have probably Spearman driving and Blaine shooting because I trust Blaine.
Okay, Blaine has +1 dex and so +3 total modifier.
Okay.
She's armed with potentially an automatic weapon as well? Am I correct, or is she taking single shots here? Or what's she
know
doing?
she's on with an automatic weapon too.
So is she doing? Is she doing single burst or auto or what?
Burst.
Okay, so this is 8 + 3 is 11.
Yep.
So that's a +3 effect. Burst really only applies to damage though, unless I'm mistaken. For
it just
it adds
you roll for the hits.
But
yeah, it just adds to the damage roll.
All right, I'm going to make the argument that Mr. RPG. No, I already said he's dead, so fuck it.
Yeah.
So these guys are firing assault rifles. The 3 trucks in the front. Assault rifle has okay. Then we have so this guy's firing first. +3. 11, which is 14. That's a +6. Now this guy, same. All these guys have the same stats. That's doesn't count. Well, I mean, it doesn't count for. He is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't count for what I'm trying to add up over here. And then this last dude rolls
Did
a
Chip
9.
not take him out?
Actually, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
No, that's we'll say that the vehicle has been disabled because the driver is currently bleeding out. And the gunner, well, he was shooting at the gunner.
He was shooting at the gunner, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the driver is okay. All right. Fuck you. God damn it. You end up with you get a total yeah, you guys pretty much cremated these fuckers. And then lastly, the machine gunner has +2. 6 + 2 is 8, but it's still 0 on the effect. So with a total score of let's see, 4, 10, 16 to 6, the firefight very clearly leans in your favor. These guys, so what happens is after this pretty violent exchange of fire, a number of dead bodies on the red team. The blue team currently basically unscathed. I'm going to make a quick flat 8+ no mod roll for the Jacoby's team. Jacoby makes it out with no, like, special effects or aplomb or anything. There's, like, no grace in it. He just basically swings these trucks around and hauls the ass off out of here. You guys then... Let me do this. You guys then basically put up something of a shield wall sort of deal here. And if you want to rearrange precisely how those are, that's fine. What now happens is this vehicle comes up like this. This vehicle comes up like this. This vehicle just basically, he doesn't literally fall back. He pretty much stays where he is. And then this guy comes up. We have entered a chase phase. So basically for this, it will be a single round, basically a repeat of what we just did. Whoever's shooting shoots. Whoever misses, or excuse me, Jesus Christ. Whoever shoots, shoots. On a hit, there is a separate roll that I'm going to make that determines what is hit, whether it's a vehicle or a person. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So, it is back to the blue team. I'm not going to have any drive rolls or anything like that being made here. This is effectively just the chase. Because ultimately, this is going to represent several rounds of back and forth shooting and what may or may not happen in that time. And then eventually you guys will, assuming you don't all get really shitty rolls and I get really good ones, assuming that you guys will survive and manage to break contact.
Okay. So I guess I'll take the first shot.
All right, just to verify, in case, because I don't remember writing it down or whatever, Aiello has a total of +2 with his rifle. What mode is he firing in?
He is firing in semi-auto.
So burst? Or single
Yeah,
shot?
burst.
Okay.
Burst.
All right. Go ahead and make your Jesus Christ, I literally just looked at it. +2.
2.
Yes, thank you. Stupid short-term memory. That is a total of 6, so that's not going to do anything for Aiello. All right, who's up? Who's next?
Milligan, or do you want me to go? Spearman to go.
Blaine and Spearman can go. Well, I'm sorry. That's up to you guys. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish your team out there.
Yeah. Blaine will take a shot in burst mode.
Okay. Blaine, I think, had a +3. Let me double check that.
Yeah.
Blaine has 1 dex and 2 rifle, so 3.
Okay, you're lagging.
I wish I could fix. I wish my internet was always stable.
Right.
You also just grabbed one of the dice that gets rolled, so I don't know what's going on there.
I'm cheating.
Oh, did you roll?
I rolled a 5 plus 3 is 8.
All right, no effect there as well. Maybe I shouldn't have said what I said about you guys rolling shitty and me rolling well. All right, Cyber Sniper. It's up to you and Chip, the robot sniper. So you've got Cyborg shoot. Oh, you're driving. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right.
So Chip can fire.
Okay. And are you gonna have Gray fire as well with his little pistol? Maybe he can take out a window or something.
He can. Yeah, because Chip's in the back of the truck and Gray's on the passenger side.
Yeah.
So I tell Chip to shoot at the machine gunner on the bigger truck.
Okay.
And Gray can pick his own target. And let's see if this thing will work. Because every time I move it, it lets me do one function before it quits working again. My dice pad.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you rolled a 5. What was Chip's total modifier again? +3 or something?
+3.
So that is an 8. So that's also a 0 for you. Is he firing in automatic mode?
Yeah, he's doing the 3-shot thing.
Okay. In that case, make your other 2 shots. And I will average them out for your particular... It's so weird that you have to move the dice pad.
That's weird. Damn,
yeah.
that's a good one.
Look at that. Another 13. That was a +5.
Boom.
God damn. What is it with you, man? All right, so you end up with a total effect average there of +4. Or, hold on. 10 divided by 3 is like 3 something. I'm going to call it 4. We'll round up to 4. So currently your guys' team score is a +4. Who else do we have to shoot? Gray?
Gray, yep.
All right, he has pistol 0, ultimately 0.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want. If they're not close enough to be shot at with a pistol, let's not do that. Let's just, if they're like right next to us, type of thing, then let's take that shot.
I mean, just picture your standard highway chase scene. There's probably moments where you could get a shot, and this one set of rolls does represent several rounds. So at least let the guy have a chance. Maybe Charles, he could be the hero of the show, stealing some thunder from the player characters for once in his life.
Okay, fine, let it happen.
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with you.
What pistol
he has a total.
Is he using? I don't even know.
He's just got a pistol, and he's got a total 0 mod, so it'll be a flat 8+.
Boom!
Wow!
Boom! Bang!
that one lucky round goes
Yeah.
out.
He just like sticks his arm out the window and pulls the trigger.
He doesn't even look. He's so scared. He's so scared, but he kind of has a general idea. Like, generally speaking, if I shoot that way, I may hit something. And he plops the driver right between the eyes. He doesn't
Awesome.
know how the fuck he did it, but all of a sudden one of these vehicles just kind of skitters off to the road. So that actually reduces the amount of fire coming in on you guys. You will get a +3, or I'll get a +3 on the first shooter, regular automatic rifle. That's going to be 0 altogether. And then lastly, a +2 for the machine gunner.
Did Chip not take the machine gunner out?
Was he shooting specifically at the machine gunner?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right, well, Liao Count himself is sticking a rifle out the fucking window. Now let me see what fucking stats he has. Which I probably didn't actually put in here because I'm gonna sometimes. But give me a second. Because actually I think I did, or maybe I originally did, and then here we go. Gun combat rifle 2. The second physical stat is Dex. Am I right? But wait, he has that thing that increases your dexterity. The same thing that Thurgor has.
So it's strength, dex, endurance, intellect, education, and social.
Yeah. You have that +3 dex implant thing, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so did this guy. I specifically added that because you had it. So that's gonna take his thing up to 10 from his dex. 10 is a +2. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
No, it doesn't get to +2 until 12.
That doesn't sound right. But
9, 10, and 11. 9, 10, and 11 is +1. 12,
Okay.
13, 14 is +2. 15 is +3.
That sounds right. I'm gonna verify that.
Yep.
Not that I don't believe you. I'm just gonna verify. 10 is, yep, damn it, it is a +1. Okay, so I do have a +3 total for Liao himself blasting away with his rifle. What kind of rifle does he have? He has
BB gun.
Nope, he has auto 3, and he will be using all of those auto 3s. But he does get... Oh, hey, thanks for the sub there, Rev. He does get... Well, he's not going to use a telescopic sight while he's fucking rolling down the road. Let's be honest here.
No, you gotta be still for that.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty stable for that. So auto 3 with a +3, that's gonna be 3 attacks. That is a total of 11 for yeah, that's a effective 3. One more. That is a 7 + 3, that's an effective 2. One more for his final as he lets rip. That is going to be a 0. So that is 5 divided by 3. We're going to round off to 2. However, he did hit the rear vehicle, which was that was Blaine and Spearman. Am I right?
Yep.
All right. So Blaine and Spearman's vehicle is hit. I need, if the players break away and move away from the kill zone, Calc will follow. Give it round of 4 attacks, which got changed, but whatever. Roll these 4 attacks once. Whatever happens, happens. Rear vehicle should be at least 1 player vehicle, blah, blah, blah. If hit, I need a 2d6 roll for that vehicle.
All right.
I see what you did. Yeah. 5.
5.
All right. Vehicle takes superficial damage. You lucky son of a bitch. So because this is the only time this has to be resolved, because I didn't call out specific targets like you guys did. I was just shooting at vehicles because why not? I'm trying to get, honestly, Calf is trying to get the vehicles to stop so that he can get Milligan himself, ideally alive still. So this is what happens when a vehicle is hit. On a 2+, the vehicle takes superficial damage. On a 6+, a tire is hit, forcing a driver's roll. And on a 10+, a person inside the vehicle is hit. If it's the driver, and you would roll, driver or passenger. And if it's the driver, the vehicle veers off the side of the road and ultimately hits a tree. Both occupants take 2d damage without armor mitigation. But that didn't happen. You guys have a hell of a gunfight. It takes several rounds. What would otherwise take several rounds to resolve? We did it in just a couple of rounds overall. But you do manage to break away. About an hour or so later, when Jacoby and the rest of you collectively agree that you feel like it's been long enough since you had any contact, Jacoby calls for a halt. Are there any final objections before to to making this halt, and the intent is to make this halt to check things out before continuing the last couple of hours in.
Nope. And then we as we halt, I'll tell everyone to reload, rearm, and be
Drink water.
prepared for additional fun.
Drink
Drink
water.
more. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, and I'm gonna look at Jacoby and just say whoever's driving should have been wearing the reflective vest.
Do you say that for real
So
in character? Because that would be fucking
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes, I do.
Should have been
I
wearing
do.
your reflective belt.
Exactly.
So I want to contact the ship and let them
Uh-huh.
know to be on the lookout for incoming, because I have a sneaking suspicion it was that ship that landed next to us. You know, those military-looking people that headed out before us.
They just looked young and fit. There's no way for you to know they
Uh-huh.
were military or not.
But I'm paranoid as fuck.
No, you are. And you can absolutely make that assumption if you want. You're just wrong as fuck.
That's fine. But I still want to warn them just in case.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
And then I want to get on the civilian band radio you were talking about and say, Liao, I only want Briggs. Nobody else has to die.
You get absolutely nothing for a response. But I will
Okay.
say that the television viewer, the viewer sitting in his living room watching this show, is going to get a cut scene, or not a cut, a flash cut over to Liao as they're driving back to wherever they're going. And they see Liao smirk coldly in the form, and it says like in subtext underneath, smirks coldly in revenge. But he never picks up the radio. He hears you. You, the
I
player
know.
character, or your character rather, never knows whether or not he heard it. But he heard it, you motherfucker. I only want Briggs. You son of a bitch. Well played. Give me
That's
one
true. I don't want to fight the entirety of the Empire of Mankind. Governments can do that, but I do want Briggs.
Well, not the Manchurian one. Hey, give me one quick second, guys. My kid needs something.
All right. Well, I don't think that could have gone any better. Oh, man.
A friend is always welcome at the shield.
Yeah.
Of course, he waited for me to be quote unquote AFK for that. Apparently, I laughed far too loud and I woke my son up from an impromptu nap. And he's like, "Can you keep it down?" I'm like, "My bad." So yeah, you guys take a moment to stop, do a quick assessment of the vehicles. Most of the vehicles are fine. One has taken some superficial bullet holes, and nothing major has been hit. Nothing that can't wait until you're back in New Middlesex. The one truck that took the RPG to the face, the glass is blown out. There's zero protection from wind in the cab now. But otherwise, like the one driver, he got mangled a bit. He's bandaged up and is currently laying prone in the back of the truck with another guy with him to keep an eye on him. He's all fucked up. I realize, of course, realistically, an RPG to the front of any vehicle that's not armored in any way is a kill. But we'll just hand wave it that maybe this RPG wasn't quite so serious. You then, you take roughly a half hour or so to, you kind of make an impromptu rest out of this unplanned stop to assess situation, and then you continue on, and you basically blow through any other stops you had planned. You have just enough fuel to make it into Bayview. When you pull into Bayview, you guys will be arriving well after sunset. Jacoby leads you guys through town to a series of warehouses where the goods and the guns will be stored. You have an opportunity to have an exchange with Jacoby at this point if you like. We can roleplay a little bit there.
I'm just gonna go look at Jacoby and just mention that we got your guns when they needed to be. I'm sorry that your man was hurt, but this was a little dirty pool for us to get set up and be almost thrown in jail again because you want to have fun with some adult toys. And
I'm just gonna tell you, listen, it wasn't on me for Tankerson to tell or not tell you guys the full extent of this operation.
Uh-huh.
But I hear you. I hear where you're coming from. And yeah, that part where I wasn't there immediately when you guys landed to mitigate all this, that part is on me. But listen, I think you guys did pretty good out there, and I really, I know this is a really weird situation for you, but truly, from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate the fact that you guys were here today. That situation, I don't know, that guy sounded like he was coming after you guys anyway, but if they had, regardless, like, they hit one of my trucks, they hit one of my guys, who knows how that could have gone, regardless of what their intent was, you know what I mean? And I just want to let you know that I really appreciate it. You guys are welcome to stay here tonight. I can get you a hotel or what have you. I wouldn't expect you guys to make a 10-hour drive just to go back right away.
I'd like to fly back.
I don't know if flying is. I mean, theoretically, flying is an option, obviously, but it might take some time. I wasn't prepared for that one. I don't know why. I just
Right.
assumed you guys would be like, yeah, fuck it, we'll drive back. We got to take the vehicles back anyway.
Well, yeah.
I can deal
I
with
mean-
that as far as I'm concerned.
Well, the
'Cause we
trucks
lost
are
it on-
the trucks are his to take care of. The
okay.
the semis
Yeah,
are.
we
The
can
little ones are your
Yeah, we
guys'.
can. Yeah, we can all load up in a couple Hiluxes and just drive ourselves back. And find some way to explain why there's a bullet hole in the side of one.
Well, so one thing I didn't get a chance to do that I had initially prepped for was that when you guys went to the rental agencies, that these agencies that were allowing you to use these particular vehicles are used to them having like off-road excursions and coming back fucked up. And you would have actually had a choice to choose one company that would have been like, pay only 10% of the vehicle's list price to cover rental and insurance and all that. But if it comes back with, I forget what the threshold was exactly, but if it comes back with any more than a little bit of damage, you now have to pay the full price in order to cover it. Otherwise, the other company would have given you the option where for a higher fee, you would have had more coverage, but unless the vehicle was outright destroyed, you wouldn't have to worry about paying for the full price of the vehicle to recoup the losses.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, the bit of damages that you guys did sustain on your 3 vehicles is no big deal. The insurance will cover.
Gotcha.
You paid for that.
Okay. Right.
I know that was
We're
a
just
long
talking-
explanation, but
We'll just tell him to build the hell out of tank or something. He's
oh, they
good.
will. They will, because you definitely put it on the I almost said government card. You did definitely put it on the company card.
So,
Right.
like, put a little extra for
so
yourself
on
in there.
Yeah, so on that note, I'll just give Jacoby a hearty handshake and say again, I hope his guy gets squared away, and I hope whatever happens here is for the good and better of things, and not for the worst of things. And
we like
on
to
that
think.
note,
Yeah, I think Jacoby will. He'll definitely shake your hand and back, and he'll slap a arm or a hand on your shoulder at the same time, and
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, I appreciate it. I'll let him know you guys were asking about him, you know, when he wakes up, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, listen, we're not your typical revolutionary gun runner type. Like, these guns are going to good use. Don't. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and sell you on it, but we're not
Right.
we're not counter revolutionary types. These are going to a good place. But I
Yep,
really
and
do
that'll be
appreciate what
good.
you're doing.
yeah, and then I'm gonna look at everyone else and just say, okay, let's just load up and get back before nightfall.
Well, it is nightfall right now.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
dark
okay.
out.
So then, I
We'll
guess
be
we'll
spending
just
the night
crash
here, I
it.
imagine.
Yeah, I mean, that's your
Yeah.
option. Like, so Jacoby points out that he does have some office space in the warehouse that you guys can use to sleep in overnight. No, nobody's going to be in the office to disturb you or whatever. You can obviously
Oh.
get some sort of accommodations here in town, or just rough it in the trucks if you want. They are
Yeah.
meant for that sort of thing. They're not very comfy and not very roomy, but you can do that. They're meant for that sort of thing. Or
Yeah.
alternatively, not that I would ever recommend this for anybody, you can start making the 10-hour drive back.
Nah.
No, we'll go crash. And
Warehouse. So we have
yeah.
one place to defend.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that makes sense. All right, yeah, and unless you guys want to do anything else, the rest of the night does go by quietly. You get some decent sleep. You know, they bring out some cots. These are your typical military cots. They're not the worst thing on the sleep. They're not the worst thing to sleep on, but they're not the greatest. But you get some decent sleep. It's been a day. Morning comes. Jacoby shows up. He brings in some some local coffee shop 4-pack, a couple of 4-packs of coffee. I can't. I could say Starbucks all I want, but you get the idea. He brings coffee for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
He's got a bag. He's got a couple of baggies full of bagels and some other stuff. You know, he says something to the effect of, I know it's not a whole lot, but again, I really appreciate you guys being out there on the road with us because that could have gone super shitty, super fast. So here's a little something to eat. Obviously, I can't stop you if you want to get something more than that, or you don't even have to take it if you don't want to. But it's here for you if you want. And safe journeys on the road back.
So
All
I
right.
want to ask Jacoby. I said, obviously you're connected around here. Whatever information you can find about that crew, please forward it to us.
Yeah, did you? He said his name, Liao something or other, didn't he? I didn't
Yeah.
catch it. Was that his first name or his last name?
I don't know. Let's see.
Did you get a good look at
I'm
him? You
gonna
got an image,
I'm
maybe?
gonna I'm gonna run Liao through my reference library, my Chinese English to Chinese reference library thing, and see if that's like a Chinese
You
name.
get one hit that references a fictional wargaming franchise,
Okay.
and you get the name Liao happens to be one of the names, or the name of one of the ruling houses of one of these fictional factions in this fictional wargame universe.
Okay.
I really hope Charles knows where I'm going with this, but I don't know if he knows enough about
Oh yeah,
BattleTech.
no. I hear it, and all I'm gonna say is it's it's
I'm also making a bit
definitely.
of a. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say it's just because it's from giant robots doesn't mean anything. Okay.
Rodance is giving me squinty eyes at that one. Liao, yes, really. I chose this name. I don't know why exactly. I've had this name. So Liao Calth is actually based on a Star Wars Galaxies. Was it Star Wars Galaxies?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies bounty hunter. And I needed a name, and somehow Liao Calth fit the Star Wars universe naming scheme, and it just fucking worked. And the character concept and the name has been with me ever since, and that's like 20 years plus now at this point.
Right.
Actually, no, 15, because I had him at least by 2009 when the first time I deployed. Because I remember leaving for that deployment and asking my ex-wife now, asking her that, please, while I'm gone, can you get me the lightning cannon or whatever the fuck it was that was some big major like end game weapon for the bounty hunter. But yeah, Liao, you're welcome. Back to the original question of do you get anything back? You get a couple of small hits, nothing really big. You get something about a former military service member. There's a mention of a special forces commendation, and then the only other connection you get is that Liao Calth, bounty hunter, something or other, big score, something or other. There's not a whole lot of information that comes up. And the information that does come up is not very helpful or detailed.
Okay.
Also, I should also mention he does operate predominantly from the things you have mentioned or seen. Like it's a mention that he was in the Manchurian Armed Forces, later a Manchurian Special Forces operator, and then the one bounty hunter score that is, bounty hunter objective mark, whatever, that he had completed was completed within the Manchurian Arm. But nothing more specific or detailed than that.
Yeah. Well, now he's one win, one loss.
Right.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
He's still alive. He's not dead.
Right. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically the next morning. So we'll just again thanks Jacoby for giving us the food, and we'll get loaded up, and then we'll definitely drive back and maybe take some of the back roads and remind everyone to pay attention to anything and everything going on around us, because
Well,
this
I'll
one stoppage.
go ahead and summarize it. The drive back is pretty. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hang on, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just look at before we get in the trucks. I'm gonna look at Milligan and go. Target back. Thank you. Not cool. Let's go.
I should. Oh man, my son's gonna be mad at me. I laughed too loud. Sorry,
Well, I
buddy.
mean,
Target
he made the call,
back.
right?
Thank you.
He made the call to engage, right?
Oh yeah, I made the call to engage,
Okay.
but we would have run into this problem if you didn't have to have your silly freaking interviews with what's her face, funny
Barbie.
Uh-huh.
news reporter.
Barbie
Walker.
Barbie Walker.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah. So we'll just load up and get going.
All right. Your drive back is a repeat of the day prior, minus the ambush. It is beautiful terrain or beautiful vistas, nice views, quiet, smooth ride. It's pretty much exactly what you would expect, minus the gunfire.
Okay.
Does Chip have any sort of "oh shit, they're coming after me" message that he would send?
What you're gonna have to explain that.
I can't explain that without getting too revealy. If Chip would, or excuse me, not Chip. If I'm sorry, I meant Milo. That was the name of the cat, right? Milo.
Oh yeah, it's Milo.
If Milo gets attacked, cornered, something or other, is there a "oh shit" message he sends off? Like an automatic? Don't be trying to add some bullshit all of a sudden because I asked that question.
Well, I mean, right now his handler is technically
Mr. Wyatt, right?
Right.
Okay.
So he does have a transceiver. It's enhanced as a 500-kilometer range.
Okay.
So if we're not halfway back by the time that happens, then he can't contact me at all anyway. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I left instructions for him to follow targeting information from.
Okay. So if he did have a "oh shit" message, it would probably go to Wyatt.
Right.
Okay. You enter the city limits of New Middlesex and are quickly in the more well-urbanized, developed areas, making your way towards the starport. Obviously, the starport's not going to be like in downtown New Middlesex because that would be retarded. But there's a significant amount of upscale development going on around the starport that you have to go through to get to it. When you arrive, you could probably already see this coming because I kind of foreshadowed this without intending to. But as you arrive at the ship, anybody surrounding your ship, you realize that there are some security guards standing outside your ship, facing outward. Unfortunately, these guys do not appear to be anything of the local security element. And they are also not wearing the same type of armor or weaponry that you would expect in the French army, even for civilian outfits.
Okay.
As you pull in closer to your ship and you're stopped by said security, your cargo ramp opens. And I need someone to roll. Second. So we don't have any. Do this. Objects. Events. DJ. Oh, because metal's more fun. I need someone to roll that. But before you do that, let me make it bigger so people can see it. Roll that bad boy for me, will you? One of you?
What do you need? A recon or all that?
Oh, that big fat pyramid die right there, which he just rolled.
Okay, you got a 4.
And he got a 4. All right.
Yep.
That's fucking perfect. As you guys pull up to the boundary around your starship, there is security guards that are not at all wearing anything that the local security members would be wearing as far as gear and equipment, uniforms, and that nature. They are wearing something that actually looks a little bit closer to the Manchurian arm, and they are definitely not. Anyway, I'm getting off track. You are stopped by one of the security vehicles for what appears to be a routine check / are you allowed to be on this particular landing pad. At the same time as that is happening, the cargo ramp opens on your ship, descending downward. And as it hits the deck, coming down the cargo ramp is two people. One of them wearing some fancy rigid armor and dragging Alia Wyatt alongside him. And this individual has got a fairly large handgun in his hand pointed at her head. This individual has reddish brown hair, long and pulled into braids, and the sides of his head are shaved clean. Sides of his head and back are shaved clean.
Oh, no. What's going on? Parlez-vous français?
You're saying that to the security guard?
Yeah, basically, like, yeah.
He just looks at you and says, "You're just gonna want to sit tight right there. All of you, in fact." And there's more security guards coming closer because there's 3 vehicles each with like 2 to 3 people in them and a robot.
How many guards are there?
Several,
total?
like 5 or 6 minimum. We'll say 5 or 6. We'll say 5 or 6.
I really, I'm just gonna look at Milligan. Like, I really don't want to get into a firefight by the ship.
Milligan, I will allow you to make a recon intelligence roll because you did sight down your scope and take somebody out with a well-placed headshot at about 200 meters.
Dang it, it's not working again. Hang on.
Just grab those 2 on the side and roll them.
Yeah.
Or that 2. Move the camera around. What's your total mod for recon intelligence? It doesn't matter. You just fucking rolled an 11. Jesus Christ, man. I guess if you're going to roll big, this is the night to do it, right?
It's +2.
Okay, well, that's a 13. Yeah, it's unmistakable to you when you get a good look at these security guards coming up around the boundaries and whatnot. These are indeed Kalth's men. There is no question in your mind. They're wearing the exact style headgear, helmet, vests, and other accoutrement that they have. They are very clearly part of Liao Kalth's crew. And that is indeed Liao Kalth coming down the ramp right now with Alia Wyatt under his arm with a pistol to her head. And the security guard is like, "You're just going to want to sit tight here. Pretty sure my boss has got something to say."
I'm going to Wi-Fi to Chip to have him be on the ready.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to disengage the vehicle.
So you're going to dismount the vehicle? You're on foot now?
Well, I'm no longer cyberly attached to the vehicle.
Gotcha. But you're still in the vehicle, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't gotten out yet.
Okay. I just see in my notes they do actually have 6 guards outside the ship. So they're all kind of lining up, forming something of a wall. Not really a wall. They're basically putting a line of 6 guards between where you guys are and where Liao is with Alia. And Liao says, "Mr. Milligan, we meet again. Listen, I'm going to be short and simple with you, man. You got 1 hour, or I'm going to start leaving bodies on the ground. Just you. Come on up to the cargo ramp. No weapons, no bullshit. We'll call it a day. Otherwise, I kill all the people I got on inside the ship. We come out with guns blazing, and whatever happens, happens. You got 1 hour." And he starts going right back up the ramp, and the ramp closes behind him. And the guards are looking at you like, "Uh-huh. There's 6 of us. There's, I think, 6 of you off the top of my head. There's like 6, maybe 7. But these guys don't look phased in the slightest. They're like, yeah, I wish a motherfucker would."
I get it. Yep, motherfucker might. So I'm going to instruct Chip to contact law enforcement.
Okay.
I'm curious where they are at this point.
But they're
But
very
yeah,
clearly not here.
right. So just to see what the response from law enforcement is going to be, that there are armed individuals that have taken our ship, under control and are threatening to shoot the entire crew, and see what kind of response we get out of law enforcement. In the meantime, I'll roll some windows down and start talking to Hellwig.
So cavalier
What?
with your crewmates.
What?
What do you mean?
What are we doing?
We have an hour.
We have an hour.
This
Right.
motherfucker just said we got a whole hour until he proves his point, or he's calling or we're gonna call his bluff. In the meantime,
Right.
we'll wait for the cops. You do, after about 15 or 20 minutes, get a personal call that Chip routes. They call Chip back directly, and then Chip routes it to you. I don't know if you necessarily have that connection, but he figured it out, like your link device or whatever, and you get the same chief of security that you encountered last time you were here. Yesterday, the customs guy whose name I can't remember without opening that note. Actually, let me go ahead and do that really quick, because now I'm curious to see what his name is. I definitely don't remember it right now. It was like 2 weeks ago for me. Yesterday for the characters. Or 2 days ago, I should say. Here we go. I know I gave him a name. Oh, Chief Mars Anders. That's his name. Yeah, he comes up on the radio or on the link. He's like, Chief Anders. Who am I speaking with right now? I talked to somebody named Chip, and it didn't sound very natural.
So I tell him, this is Joseph Milligan. Where's all the starport security? Why has our ship been taken by a private security firm, or bounty hunters, really?
I'm totally unaware of this. Could you clarify this? You're telling me that your ship has been commandeered by a third party, not at all relating to law enforcement in any way, shape, or form?
No, they appear to be bounty hunters. They attacked us out in the wilderness. They beat us back here to the starport. They've boarded our ship. They have our crew hostage and are threatening to kill them within the hour.
These are some very serious accusations. Let me come down there with one of my team, and let's see if we can't figure some shit out. Give me 5 minutes. And
Okay.
he hangs up. And sure as shit, 5 minutes and 4 seconds if you wanted to set a timer to it. Vehicles pull up. Red and blue lights flashing, sirens blaring. The security, or excuse me, the not security, Couth's boys. Wow, I gotta be careful how I say that. It might come out as cowboys. Couth's boys are, again, just totally unfazed. They're like, yep, we've seen this bullshit before. The cops show up, wheeling in, fan out a team of like a dozen or so. Fan out, countering the security people, the not security people, I should say. It is now roughly 30 minutes into the first hour of this hostage situation. Mars Anders comes up to you immediately, and he recognizes you from literally 2 days ago. Shakes your hand. He says, "All right, Milligan, what the fuck is going on?"
And I tell them, somebody, I have very strong suspicions they're a bounty hunter because they were asking for me by name. Assaulted us out in the wilderness. We were able to fight them off. We went and finished our job. They evidently came straight to the starport. They've managed to somehow get inside our ship, and they have the remaining crew hostage, and said they're going to start killing them unless I turn myself over to them.
All right, and he doesn't say anything else to you. He turns to the guys, Couth's boys. He's like, "Which one of you fucks is in charge?" He wouldn't say that. That's very unprofessional. He says, "Which one of you is in charge?" And the other guy's like, "You're talking to him." No, I need to talk to the guy in charge. These guys accusing you of commandeering his ship unlawfully and holding people against their will. That's kidnapping and possibly hostaging. That's some death penalty type stuff. So if you don't get your boss out here right now, son, it's going to be a world of shit. There's another series of brief interchanges, and then the not security guy is on the radio. Can't really quite make out what he says. There's obviously responses probably from Kyle that you don't quite catch. And after a moment, the other guy says, well, I'm assuming you're the chief of security here. And Anders is like, goddamn right. Now you want to tell me what the hell's going on? And the not security guard recites what sounds like some sort of regulation, paragraph and line, etc., indicating that to their understanding that they are here under officially sanctioned legal business and action, and that they are currently operating within the parameters of their. And then you hear the word contract. And Anders is like, within the parameters of a contract. When did taking hostages become ever legal anywhere?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had to call myself out before I got ahead of myself. And the guy just like, he shrugs. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing under what is legal for us. And then after another moment, Milligan, your link device rings.
Okay.
It's an unrecognized number.
Okay, I'll answer it.
Mr. Milligan. It's me again. Yeah. Things are getting pretty tense, huh?
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, I'm the one sitting inside your ship, so.
Well, actually, it's not mine, but okay.
Potato, potato. Some other different pronunciations of some one word that's not tomato.
What?
I don't know, man. I'm ad-libbing the fuck out of this right now. Leave me alone.
I'm like, ESL?
Yeah, there you go. Listen, I'll let these people go.
That would be wise.
Yeah, except I can't until I have you in my custody.
You give me Briggs.
Can't give you Briggs. I'm working for Briggs.
Okay, well, that would solve two problems at once then.
What would me bringing Briggs to you do for me?
Release you from your contract.
How about I take you to Briggs? Listen, I'm not lying to you. I'm working for him, and my orders are to bring you alive, not dead. Dead is
Right,
an
you're a
option.
mercenary,
I will be
a bounty
fair.
hunter.
I will be fair and I will be honest. Dead is an option, but you're worth so much more to me alive, and so much more to my employer.
Oh, I'm sure I am. But you know what? He's tried to kill me once already. He's tried to kill everybody on that ship once already, and everybody out here already.
That has
So-
nothing to do with you and me here and now.
Look, I'm not here to be your paycheck.
Oh, contraire, mon frere. Except he probably would say it in picture, and I have no idea how to say that. You are indeed my paycheck, son. Listen, let's make it easy for everybody. Let's make it simple. You come to the center of the landing pad. A couple of my guys will help you along the way. I'll come out of your ship. We'll all casually stroll on over to my ship. We'll leave. We'll call it a day. Next thing you know, you'll be in the Imperium. I'm sorry. You'll be in the Empire. Jesus. You'll be in the Empire. I'll be done. All your friends will be perfectly fine. We're not going to mess with them. We can even tell the spaceport people here that this was just a big, gigantic misunderstanding.
2, 4, 6, 18.
What are you
I'm like,
adding
well,
up?
I'm like, we've kind of got you outnumbered 3-1 out here.
Okay. You think I've not been in worse situations than this? Come on. I served in the Manchurian Special Forces cadre. I think I can handle myself.
Well, you saw how we handled yourselves.
Yeah, you've got a couple of good shots and then a bunch of mediocre ones. That was it.
Those good shots were consistent.
Because they came from the same person. That's how. Listen, Milligan, we could debate this all day long.
We can.
You're stalling, and you're going to lose out in about 21 minutes. One of your friends. Would you like to pick which one? I could at least give you that decency.
How close am I to the ship?
Like 100
right
meters.
Now?
You're like, you don't remember earlier, the last time we had talked, like there was like a safety cordon around the edge. You're at that point now.
Okay.
And he's talking to you directly. I imagine you guys are having like a very personal, private, no eavesdropping because this is like earbud to earbud sort of deal, where anybody listening in is only catching half of the conversation. All you gotta do, walk up to one of my guys, tell him you're surrendering. Two of my guys will help you to the center of the landing pad. Your people will be released. Excuse me. We'll all walk away. I almost wanted to pull a Mad Max and be like, just walk away. Walk away. Yeah, I did that one for you, Charles.
I tell him that I'm not the only decision maker here, so I'll get back with him.
You're
And I
right.
hang the phone
I'm
up.
the other decision maker. This is between you and me, so let's
No.
settle it between you and me.
I hang the phone up.
You don't hear this, but
and-
he's like, dumb
Yeah.
motherfucker.
So
the camera catches that, and then it swipes right back to you guys.
so I'm gonna message Hellwig.
All right.
Even though he's
I'm
probably
gonna-
standing like right next to you, basically.
Well, he's not in the same truck as me, and I don't think any of
you
us
haven't
got
gotten out of the
so-
truck yet. Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna message Hellwig, tell him what he said. I'm not scared of going. They are bounty hunters for sure, hired by Briggs.
By Briggs.
We've got him 3-1 out here in the open anyway, but he's in there with the crew. So depending on how awful a person he really is, you know, if I can get closer to the ship, I can try to contact Milo. Because if Wyatt never did have him engage anybody, then he may be pretty much undiscovered as a threat to them. What do you think?
And I'm gonna kind of look across at everything going on, and I'm just gonna ask: do you think you can get Aisha free?
Oh yeah.
With your sorry, Aya free with your with either Betty or Milo or Chip?
Ooh, are we gonna get a sniper shot that ends the show?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to see him again.
He's gonna. I mean, well,
but maybe I can get him to come out. But you know, somebody's gonna have to keep the pressure off of me to get the shot. And if he drags Alia out there with a gun to her head, chances are she's gonna be, you know, a consequence of all of this.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
But if I can contact Milo in the ship, Milo might can take him out.
Okay. So
He is pretty heavily armored.
yes, he is. I'm not gonna tell you any more than that, but yes, he
Right.
is.
Yeah.
I want to say, okay, yeah, if you can get Milo to come out and go wrestle with the dude and see if we can get get the Wyatts free, then I sense we can show this dude our kindness and consideration through the use of kinetic energy.
Kindness and consideration through the use of kinetic energy. Amazing.
So that's what you're down for?
That definitely sounds like it was written by an American.
Okay.
All right, what are we doing?
I'm down for.
What's the plan here, guys?
So the security chief is. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The security chief is right by the truck, right?
Yeah, he's kind of flippantly back and forth with a couple of the not security guys, but he definitely looks like if you wanted to pull him aside, you could absolutely do that. He has the expression of he's like, thank God that conversation was getting dumb.
So, and I basically whisper in his ear, I think it's fixing to go down.
All right, what do you want? I mean, I got snipers already on. Oh, I got one up on the control tower right now. Doesn't have the best shot, but if he comes all the way off the cargo ramp, I think we can get him.
Yeah, if he can get, and I'm gonna kind of come around to that spot. I said if he can get a couple of these other cats, we might have an inside surprise that can get our people free.
Oh, I've got like 12 people here fanned out. It's gonna get ugly if we start shooting, but we've got them 2-1, plus the sniper. We can end this pretty fast, but Gonna be costly.
Oh, you got a sniper? How good's your sniper?
French Special Forces. I
Milligan,
don't
you
know
can-
what the French Special Forces is other than the French Foreign Legion, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's a DSGE is the actual term.
Yeah.
Or acronym, and it's some silly French thing. Anyhow,
It's French, of
I'm
course
gonna
it's
look at
silly.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
pissed off every French speaking person out there, but it's the
and,
final
and for
show. I
what?
could get away with something. I'm gonna call that on that one.
All right. Anyhow, I'm gonna look at Milligan and go. I'm gonna call it audible. If they got a sniper, and you act like you're gonna surrender, Milo comes and attacks. The sniper drops the dude holding the Wyatts, and then we just start going bang bang bang.
So that's only going to work if I can get him to come out.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. You walk into the center of the firing zone, and we say that we get our commanding our ship's captain and our engineer back, and they get you.
Oh, they've got everybody in there. They've got all four of them. There's the two Wyatts, Tillman, and Tran are inside the ship.
Mm. Okay.
He just came down using Alia as a body shield the first time.
Okay. I was misunderstanding. Okay.
Yeah.
Well then,
And you don't know the condition of any of them other than you saw Alia, who looked like she was pretty well scared. I mean, she did have a large caliber pistol to her head at the same time. So
yeah.
But here's the flip side of this, real quick. Let's say we engage, we quickly eliminate all these people outside. Number one, we don't know how many more are possibly inside. It might not be just him. In fact, I wouldn't be in there alone. But crap, I'm losing it here. He's going to find himself in a whole new situation at that point. Yes, he could go ahead and start shooting people on the ship, but what's that going to gain him at that point? Nothing, because where's he going to go? The ship's locked up. It's not like he can fly it away.
Aiello is somewhere nearby, and he overhears this part of the conversation. He's like, "Ain't nothing scarier than a cornered cat." Talking about if things go south and it ends up just being Kyle stuck inside the ship with no backup, and everything gets weird. That's what he's referring to.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, you never know how that's going to play out and how somebody's going to react to something like that.
I don't see any other way besides
I'm willing to go.
Turning you over, and then hoping that they'll honor the freedom to let everything happen, or just go guns a blazing and hope we don't drop a hostage.
Okay. So I mean, I've got my armored back suit on. I've got some cyber armor now too. So I'm a little resistant to damage at this point. A heck of a lot more than I was. I can turn Betty over to Chip. I can walk out to the middle. What y'all choose to do at that point is up to y'all.
Okay. So here's what happens. You guys have this conversation with Milligan, Hellwig, Anders, and one or two other random friendlies, some away from the others. At about 55, 56 minutes, Milligan, you get a quick call on your link. It's, of course, the same unrecognized number. Mr. Milligan, 4 minutes. What are we doing? Am I killing one of your friends, or are you going to surrender?
I guess we'll figure that out in 4 minutes.
You're really gonna... Okay. And he hangs up. He doesn't give you the chance to hang up this time, you motherfucker. He hangs up on you. 3.5 minutes later, the cargo ramp starts to open.
Okay.
4 minutes. The cargo ramp completes its descent, and here comes Calth, once again dragging Alia Wyatt with his Hancock 923 pistol to her head.
Okay.
If I remember correctly off the top of my head without looking, this is the big future-ish revolver-looking pistol. It looks like a beast. He's definitely he may or may not be doing this for theatrics, but it's still a very effective weapon. It's extremely close range. He's bringing her down, and he shouts, "Milligan, you got 1 minute. I'm counting it down."
So I hand Betty to Chip.
Hmm.
You know, I let him know.
Anders is watching you and Hellwig. If any of
Right.
you give him, quote unquote, the nod.
Yep, that's on Hellwig now.
Okay.
So I instruct Chip, if a firefight starts, bring me Betty.
Okay.
Okay. He has some enhanced movement too, so he moves quicker than a person.
Okay.
And I'll meet him
He
not
moves
halfway
at
because he'll
32
beat me there.
meters per round, whereas
It's not that fast. Instead of, let me see where it is. Instead of 5, it's 8.
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
going for. I don't know where I came up with those numbers, but
and so I open my door, and I'm like,
Ah.
I turn to Anders and I say, Hellwig will take it from here.
All right.
Hellwig,
And I'm
the
gonna,
ball is literally in your hand. You have the football. There is no
Yep.
actual briefcase with handcuffs, but it's in your hands
Right.
now.
right.
And I start walking forward.
And I'm gonna say, as soon as he gets forward of the truck, drop the dude on the ramp.
Anders
And I'm gonna kind of,
replies with like sotto voce, like he's trying to talk through the side of his mouth as quiet as he can.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
"He's got to come all the way off of the ramp. My sniper doesn't have a clear shot until then."
Okay. So then I'm gonna like act like I'm rubbing my ear and just like toggle my link and just mention to Milligan, we need to get the guy to come down further. Or can Chip take the shot?
Oh, Chip does have Betty right now.
Yeah.
Mr.
I mean,
Milligan,
he
30
could also
seconds.
take a shot. Oh, I'm walking forward as he's talking. So
Yeah, he looks like he's about 1 meter from the edge of the ramp, just to make the drama tension. This is the penultimate moment of the entire show right here. The only thing that would have made this better is if it was Briggs and not this random ass bounty hunter merc.
Right.
Kneecap
For all we
his
know,
ass.
this is Briggs. It just isn't.
It's not the
it's
same
not
actor.
Briggs. No,
it's the
it's not
same actor.
Briggs.
They just made him up differently. He has long hair now.
Right. Right.
He's had
And then
a cyber makeover.
And I'm gonna just mention that since I'm gonna look at the security chief and just go, if your guy can't take the shot, the robot will. Once the first shot goes out, tell your people to take all the targets down. And then I'm gonna say the same thing to my action team. Take as many targets down as you can.
All right. Give me a moment. We're gonna set this up. So I don't know exactly how this is gonna play out, but it's gonna get interesting really fast. So give me just a quick moment here. Why can't I find copy all of a sudden? There we go. All right, so these red and green dice are actually misappropriated. So give me. Okay. All right. So the red dice are the security dude. Are the not security dudes on the ground. The 12 green dice are Anders people, and I'm gonna take actually one of these really quick and
Like Anders.
make it Anders, and Anders.
Oh, well, good grief.
I didn't mean to make them both bigger. That's the
Yeah.
problem. All right, there we go.
For all we know, Anders is on the roids, man.
Could be. It could be. Well, I wanted Anders dice specifically to be bigger, but all right. And then I don't know what I'll do with that just yet. We'll figure something. Okay. All right. Let's call it 4:59:45. This is decision making moment right here. Milligan is walking out into the landing pad. The not security guys have not stopped you. They're assuming you are indeed truthful and honest about your surrendering, and you're doing exactly what Kalth told you to do, which is to walk to the center of the landing pad, which of course would take you under the ship. The landing gear does allow you to walk under it. You don't really have to dip your head a whole lot.
Right.
Two of the guys, as you pass their line. So here, let's do this. This is you. Like I grabbed the right one. And this is these other two. As you walk through, I didn't delete enough of these. See that now. As you walk through there, still not enough.
The Valley of the Shadow of Death.
Well, hold on. I'm leaving
There should only
too
be
many...
4 there now.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why my math was not mathing. Yeah. So the two escort you effectively, and we'll bring you up here. We'll just say this is Kauth and Alia. And actually, here's what we do. So he is like right here towards that polar-ish region of the map right there, and he needs to come all the way off of here.
And that's for Anders Sniper to get a good shot because he's
Correct.
elevated, right? But
Correct,
Chip
because
has
yeah. So basically, that's exactly what it is. He's
Yeah.
elevated because he's shooting from like the 10th floor of the starport control tower, which because of the angle of it, portions of the ship are covering Kauth, and Kauth
Right.
knows that. He's not dumb.
right.
Now Chip, on the other hand, has effectively 0 elevation line of sight to him.
Yep.
He could take that shot. The problem is, now he's got Alia, who's kind of struggling, kind of not keeping up, intentionally kind of being difficult,
Right.
but also complying, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So Chip is probably going to have a bit of an extra modifier on his shot, just throwing it out there, if he does take it. The camera is on you. It is the muted dead silence at this moment as the camera follows you crossing the line of not security guys in something close to slow motion, but not quite. You know what I mean? Like there's regular speed, there's slow motion, there's something in between that they use for this moment for extra dramatic effect. There's a shot of Liao Kauth coming down the ramp, dragging Alia with his Hancock 923 to her head. It's this big silver, futuristic revolver. It's a hand cannon. There's a shot of all of the different security and then the handful of not security. It's a tense moment. And all of a sudden, like in the bottom of the screen, it has the current time, 4:59:47, 4:59:48. And it's ticking by at like 1.5 speed. So not fast, slow. Negative 1.5. I don't know what that would be. Negative or 0.75 speed or something. I don't know. And it starts ticking by, and then it stops at 4:59:58. Milligan, the ball is literally in your court. If you move forward another 3 meters, you get the impression that Kauth will fully disengage off of the cargo ramp, dragging Alia with him. If you stop right here, you don't know for sure, but you know from your own shooting experience and training that if you stop right here, Chip can have the shot. It can't be a great shot. It's a decent shot, but it's either here Chip takes it or a couple steps more, the local security shot takes it. Roughly the same odds as best as you can tell. Also, if you want the other sniper to do it, you need Hellwig to say yes.
Right.
Or nudge.
And that's at the Hellwig, right?
Yeah.
So I just holler out to Liao, and I do it loudly.
Right at the 4:59:58 mark, as he's getting ready to pull the hammer back on his revolver.
I'm like, your men have me. I'm right here. Let her go. I say you can't miss me from that range. So let her go.
Ooh, man, do I got to be the asshole here? I feel like I got to be the asshole here. Okay. Let's see what happens. We see as the timer slowly kicks over from 4:58:58 to 4:58:59, the hammer is drawn back. And when the time hits exactly 5 p.m., we hear a shot.
And at that point,
go ahead.
I'm gonna say at that point, I'm gonna say shoot, and then yell to my team, take him down.
All right.
Yep.
So the first shot we hear is the sniper on the starport control tower. He's going to have a +3. That is not a very good shot. And because that misses Calth, I now need to roll with that same modifier. Oops. What's this? A typical sniper is going to be like 5D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably at least.
Yeah. God damn it.
They didn't stat out the FTE 10, did they?
I don't know. That's
No.
16. She's not going to be wearing armor.
That was the French sniper rifle.
Let's see, what does that do to her? That's 15. Ooh, she drops. There's a bullet hole. So we hear the shot right at 5 p.m. 0 seconds. We hear the shot. We hear almost simultaneously, like the little ticker, the little count, or excuse me, the little clock, is the digital elements have started to switch from the 0 to the 1. Some of the little pieces are fading out while others are remaining, but they're all still there. We hear take him down at the same second. And we see this red spray of blood, but it doesn't come through or come from Calth, it comes from Alia. The bullet enters her chest, rips just this big hole on the way out, and she collapses into Calth's arms. Who's firing next?
Chip.
Yeah.
All right, make your roll. If you miss, you will then make the same roll to hit Alia, because she's still very literally on his body. So that's a 6 with what else?
That's a 9.
Okay, so that's +1 effect.
Yep.
Roll your damage.
Yep.
Oh, it's working now.
What? Don't call it out.
Well,
11,
that sucks.
12.
Yep.
Chip takes his shot. This is a regular bullet, right?
No, this is a laser.
It's a laser. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So this laser lances out, catches Calth dead center of the chest. Just like, you know that little bumpy part in your rib cage at the very top, just beneath your neck? That's where he hits, but there's armor there. And so the armor ablates the laser. It's still enough to stun Calth, because not only did he just eat a laser and take 0 effect from it, by the way, he is now trying to hold together this woman whose body is almost literally falling apart. There's blood all over the front of him. The pistol in his hand has dropped. Who's shooting next?
I guess I am.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take a shot at the one of the guys standing next to Milligan.
Okay.
I'm gonna
gonna
take an aim shot.
I'm just gonna mark this guy in particular, just for
Yep,
shits and giggles.
yep.
All right,
Yep,
it's an
yep.
aim, so that's gonna be +1 on top of your normal mods.
Yep.
So what are we looking at? +3 or +4?
Hang on, let me look at my. So it's +2. +3.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be +4 total with the aim.
Okay. That's a 10.
That's a 10.
All right. That drops this guy. I'm not gonna roll for damage on these goons,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, on the mooks.
Yep.
And then it's basically gonna go. What's Blaine on the next one next to Milligan.
Yep. Blaine's got +3 total.
Okay.
That'll do it.
That's 11.
Yeah.
That guy drops. These
then,
guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah.
Actually, here. Let's do this. This is Anders' team.
Yep.
There we go. All right, and then here is the other security dudes, and basically this is gonna be super easy.
They're toast.
Yeah, they're fucked. But in fact, I'm not. You know what? I'm not even gonna roll. I thought it was gonna turn out to be something a lot less than that. So, actually, what I'll do. Oops. Just gonna roll these guys.
I mean, all the firing should be happening simultaneously.
Yeah, there's
So
a lot of firing that takes place too. It's not just quick rounds. It's several sustained bursts back and forth.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's hurt. bad. He's hurt bad. He's hurt bad. He's hurt bad. Anders, just for shits and giggles. I'm rolling basically 50%. Anders gets binged up a bit, actually. These guys are also binged up. This guy's binged up. These 5 are fine. These guys are toast. Like, this is like a 30, 45 second, just a roar of gunfire back and forth before they all drop. Calth is on the ground. He, somewhere along the way, took a bullet that, like, chipped off of his armor plate, like his chest piece, and caught him in the side of the head. And he's down on the ground. He's definitely dazed.
Okay. So I'm going to retrieve a weapon off of one of these guys right next to me.
Okay. It's whatever the Chinese assault rifle is from last
Wu
generation.
Beijing 59 or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. And Chip should be running up to me at this point because that was his instructions when the firefight started. He was supposed to, come to me.
Yep.
I'm going to snatch that rifle up and run right up to Liao, and I'm gonna fire 3 rounds in the air real quick just to heat up the end of the barrel, and I'm gonna stick it on his neck.
What an asshole!
Whatever.
I know that's quite contradictory because I'm the one that just set up an entire hostage situation and probably got somebody killed on your team.
Yeah.
And
I yell for a medic, of course.
Yeah. Which none of your team actually is, but you do get one of the local security guys to come up with.
I'm like a third of one.
Yeah. One of Anders' security people runs up with his medic bag. He doesn't even pay attention to Calth. Calth is an adversary who is currently screaming. Not actually, he's not going to be screaming in pain. You burnt the fuck out of his neck, and he's really mad. And I imagine you probably got like a boot on his chest with the rifle barrel in his face or something like that.
I'm making sure I got at least one arm pinned down.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I say just twitch.
I will have one of you guys make a 2d6 roll with a +1 modifier. On an 8+, the Alia will survive.
Do you want to, or should I?
It doesn't matter.
No. Okay, you've been rolling hot, so go ahead, try it.
Yeah, but see, I
now that you said
hot,
that,
so
now
a
that
bad one is bound to be coming up. I'll roll it. So you said,
See?
Yep. So the medic comes up with his kit bag, and he is frantically trying to patch Alia together. And at one point, within about a minute or so, and Milligan, you're right there.
Right.
Mr. Wyatt is coming down the ramp, and he is screaming. He's furious at this point because his wife has been shot, and now it looks like she's dying. The medic has a frantic look on his face. He is unfortunately unable to save her.
Can any other attempts be made?
That's it.
Okay.
Which is very unfortunate. And to move things along, because A, we're getting to the end of the stream, and B, we still haven't had a chance for open conversation. What happens after this? In summary, any surviving members of Calth's crew, of which there were 4 more additionally inside the ship, that the Tillman, Tran, and Mr. Wyatt were along with the help of Milo, were able to subdue, incapacitate. Any surviving members were arrested and charged with varying charges from murder, attempted murder, kidnapping, unlawful detention, handful of other charges. Calth is locked away. Alia, unfortunately, does pass. The medic is completely shattered. And I think part of it is because she was such the random what's the word I'm looking for here? Random innocent casualty. There's a word, I can't think of it. It's just I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but basically this dude is just it really gets under his skin and he's not able to let it go.
Right.
Uh, ultimately, at some point, you guys are, there's a lengthy, several days worth of investigations and talks and interviews with various authorities. Uh, Chief Anders is relieved for the first few days because initially the whole situation did go poorly. Huh? No. Uh, what? Sorry, my kid is like right off screen trying to get my attention. I'm like, what, dude? Anyway, Anders is initially relieved until after about a week or two, you'll hear in the news a couple weeks later that Anders is reinstated, that everything, procedurally wise, I'm not very cognizant of what to do in that kind of situation from a law enforcement standpoint. So I'm just going to GM hand wave that the Starport security did everything that they were supposed to do, local security, local law enforcement, etc. That ultimately everybody was absolved of what happened. There is an ongoing separate investigation into what can be done about improving security so that such a ship taking over, stealing sort of thing can be prevented in the future.
Sue him. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's an option. Tankerson does mention lawsuit at one point when he
Yeah.
finds out that his ship was commandeered by a totally uninvolved third party that was
Mhm.
hell bent on destroying you. Wyatt leaves the team permanently.
Understandable. 'Cause that was
His
two
what?
deaths, not
Yeah.
just one.
Well, I mean, yes, because it does come out, and I don't know if it was ever made clear. Actually, I think we did have a closing scene of a pregnancy test.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if he told us though. I don't think we knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we-
in character, you guys didn't know. It does come out that, and I have this license now to do it because unfortunately Wiggles isn't here. But somewhere along the way, Wyatt, in his grief and anger over the loss of his wife, he does reveal that she was pregnant, that they had just found out. Uh, and that is indeed a significant contributing factor to his leaving the team. He, at one point, like initially, he leaves to go take her home to Bonard Star, which I believe off the top of my head is where his character's from. Um, to the eye or whatever the station is that he was from, to last rites and everything. And a few days after he departs for that, there's a message received, and it basically basically says that he's not coming back. He will fill out all of the paperwork needed and send it digitally, but he's done. He's not. This life is not for him. And of course, part of that is because of the way the customs thing went down. He'd already, obviously in character, Wyatt had mentioned a few times about wanting to go back to Earth or doing something other than all this shit with, because of Flex and whatnot. All of this stuff, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with Wiggles. This is all stuff I was planning and now extrapolating further on without Wiggles' input because he left the crew, as it were. Yeah, and that's it. Like at some point, you guys get back to what otherwise could be considered normal daily operations for Tankerson. Tankerson does admit at one point, shortly after you guys return, that he definitely sent you out there to see how the sheep respond when the wolves are circling. This had nothing to do with Calth. That was obviously completely driven by the Empire of Mankind and their tomfoolery going on in the Manchurian Arm and Briggs' own personal interest in revenging. But it was Tankerson's idea to send you out on this mission to see how you would respond if things went weird. And he understands if you guys are upset. That's kind of the point. He wanted to see how you respond to the entire scope of this. He's impressed that you guys managed to pull it off, even with the additional bullshit of Liao and his band of fuckboys trying to take your shit down. That's pretty much it. That is it for the season. And unfortunately for the series, I am open to any questions and comments and whatever from anybody for the next 15 minutes or so. Excuse me. Maybe longer, depending on how the conversations go. This is where the players get to tell me that I'm a piece of shit GM and I'm an asshole and I am unrealistic and undeserving of being a GM. I don't know how much of what I just said is true or not, but by all means, Charles, Thurgor, viewers, Hit me. Make it sting. Make
So
it burn.
No, I just want to say that I joined this game, one, because I love 2300, two, because the rule system changed and I needed to familiarize myself with the rule system. I think
Mhm.
you did a great job in helping me accomplish that goal.
By not
I
using the rules hardly ever.
but I mean, enough of them were used that
Yeah.
they've stuck. So I'm now better prepared. I have some stuff I've been working on the side, some long adventure kind of stuff, campaign starter kind of stuff, some other smaller things for them to publish in whatever the name of that magazine fanzine is. And I've been in contact with one of them about submittals and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to give me the opportunity, the time, for me to do some of my own stuff on Discord, play test some of this stuff. I'm open if any of your viewers are interested in playing 2300, want to do some play test stuff.
May
I
I
would
cut in
pull
for a quick moment?
from that first. Yeah.
And the reason why I want to cut in right there is one of the things I wanted to say to you guys, by the time we closed out tonight, is that I'm going to be closing down the Traveler section of Discord, which will remove you from that section. I'm not in any way, shape, or form in any kind of position to want to remove either of you from the server. So you're more than welcome to come or go, stay as you please, etc. And Thurgor, if you're looking to find more games, in for you as well, Charles, for that matter, if you guys are looking to find more players, you're free to ask other people on my Discord server. There's no feelings or whatever as far as God damn it, I can't think of the word now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to steal anybody, that's
Poach.
for
Yeah,
sure. But
yeah. Like there's no
I,
feelings of poaching.
yeah,
Like at the end of the
yeah,
day, we are all gamers of some form, and
yep.
feel free to ask on my server if anybody wants to participate in this game. There are a couple people on the server that have mentioned to me at various points in time that they would have loved to have gotten in on this. It's just at that particular time there was no room, or whatever the case might have been. So yeah, ultimately, end state. Are you guys still there? Am I losing you? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
losing my
You
my
cut out
stream.
you cut out super bad while ago, but you're back.
Yeah.
Um,
Because yeah, the stream is currently attempting to reconnect.
yeah.
There it goes.
So yeah,
Okay,
you
it's
hit
good. I
you hit
think.
a big set of lag there.
Okay, yeah. God damn it. Yeah. So end state, and then please you could take over from there. End state, feel free to recruit if you're looking to form your own table. By all means, both of you guys go for it. Mention whatever you do. I'll try to support where I can, and you could even allow me to show up as a guest star.
Yep, yeah. And you know what? I'm more than happy to put Joseph Milligan in a folder and hang on to him. I'd love
Oh,
to start
absolutely.
this up again in the future, especially after Invasion comes out or whatnot. And
Yeah.
I realized some of my actions as Joseph Milligan were a little controversial. Um, I will say, in an offhanded kind of way, it added to the story. Um,
I think it did. I think well, one of the things that was really cool
yeah.
is Milligan showed up. No, I'm sorry. You, the player, showed up, took over as one of the other characters, and kind of put your foot down right off the bat as that character. And I was like, all right, well, at least you as a player, you're not worried about, if you got something to say, you're going to say it. And you stayed in character when you said it, which to me, that was kind of cool. I'm just glad it worked out that way. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, what doctor wouldn't want to preserve a life, especially one as unique as that one was?
Yeah, the Medusa plant, for those that
And,
don't
and
remember
as
that
much
far
as he
back.
had probably been quiet all the way up to that point, I'm pretty sure with most docs that would have set them off.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Well, it means very
So
literally destroying the only proof of life out there other than what we already knew. And also
right,
something that, while nobody could
ancient.
necessarily, well, I guess there was carbon dating or something to that effect, but this is something like millions of years old.
Hmm. So
Anyway,
Milligan always did what he did for the betterment of the crew. He thought the press conference and trying to get Flex in trouble was the best way to get some kind of payout to
oh, it paid out all
right
right.
wrong.
It definitely ended up in the red. I'm sorry. I'm being snarky. I'm sorry.
Right.
So yeah, it ended up in the red. All over Leal.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was one of your people that turned all red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sniper needs some more training. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
That was a hard shot.
it really was, and I didn't even try. I don't think I even put any super hard modifiers on top of it. It was just he missed his intended target. It's a bullet coming that way. Someone that close is bound to eat it. And if they still miss on the same modifiers, okay. And now I will say this before I resume or let you resume. I will say this. I have been planning Alia's death for about 2 months now.
Wow.
It had to be done a certain way. It had to be done for the story. It was intended to be done specifically for the story. And this was nothing. It was never against Wyatt. I figured a player character's wife that was drawn up in the life events role from character creation is a valid target for that drama, that sort of story. And we had gotten to a point where I felt like we needed a little extra feels thrown in there. And short of taking out these supporting cast NPCs that arguably on a TV show nobody's really going to care about, but here we have someone's wife. And if we take a few moments along the way every couple of episodes and make that person a little bit more important, and then we take her away. That was my goal, was to go into season 3 with this big hole and this big dramatic sad overcast, or maybe even Wyatt just being like, I'm going to murder every motherfucker ever. But of course, from the player's side, some very big things change. So the story I tried to preserve as best I can, but unfortunately here we are.
So I'd like to ask one thing.
Sure.
And that is feedback from the both of y'all about my play. And I'm not looking for compliments or anything like that. I know I get hyper focused on things. Yeah, yes, I know I get hyper focused on things like the robots, and I redesigned 2 whole ships for us to, have the potential.
And we never got to get the damn Durandal in the air.
I know.
God damn
so I've done an awful lot of work, and I'm really invested, and now it stops. So
I will let Charles field that one first.
Okay.
So I mean, I'll be honest. I think it was interesting. I think your play was interesting. I think, like you said, the hyper focus was pretty good. The whole Johnny Mnemonic being able to jack in, I think threw some of those roles our way favorably, but I think threw off Omar's attempt at storytelling. But dice give, dice give, dice. Yeah, dice give, dice take away. I think the hard part was just wrapping my head around. I see and I can visualize some of the things you're going through, and it was a little hard for me to. I mean, again, 2 different play styles, 2 different ways. You're more aggressive and up in the face of people than I was to a point, especially with the whole getting a hold of Barbie and and bringing in the whole basic, like I said right near the end, painting a target on our backs, and now we got people chasing us, type of thing.
I really liked how that developed as a part of the story, and I realize, of course, I'm the one that developed the story, but I mean, if I look at the story objectively, or try to imagine this story from the perspective of a viewer, I really like the fact that you, as a player, Thurgood, made that choice to have that sit down with Barbie Walker and have this story told, and then me turning around and being like, you just told the whole universe that Flex is bad, and also so is the Empire of Mankind, and there's people in the Empire of Mankind who do not have the same moral values as Flex.
Oh yeah,
not by a long shot. And they're not, and as we can see by now, they have no problem sending people out to go break your body.
Right. I was hoping Flex was just going to cave, and to keep us quiet, we're going to give us, all the crew members somewhat of a payoff for illegally detaining us.
Yeah, and
that
I
was
did
my
try.
main goal there. Yeah.
And so I had meant in the running of the time, I had meant to actually come back to that particular. What about the money that we would have gotten, our share of the profits from the speculative trade and all that? I had actually meant to bring that back in. It just never, like, by that point we were hip deep in all the Beowulf or all the Grendel stuff, and I'd forgotten about it, to be totally honest. Charles, I kind of cut in a little bit there, and I apologize. If you had anything else, by all means, please.
I mean, the only thing I was going to say was that I think, I mean, and it's minor critique. It's just the fact that the way you were running your character was a little more aggressive and a little more interesting at times. But I will say this: it did make it for fun because I think my guy more being the wannabe secret spy, or even being a little bit secret spy, the whole
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
yeah. Uh, not really want to draw attention to himself. That just like ran counter to his whole feel, at least the way I was envisioning my character going. So,
I wouldn't say counter. I would say complimentary.
oh
Yeah,
Honestly.
I think one of the good things about this group that worked really well was that I liked some of the Hellwig and Milligan interactions because they somehow played off of each other almost adversarially, but without ruining both the relationship as players, obviously, and more importantly, in this context, the relationship between the two characters. Hellwig wasn't trying to actively murder Milligan or vice versa. They just spoke their minds, said what they had to say, and all right, well, fuck it, we still got a job to do.
Right. And realistically, I think if we went further, it wasn't going to be any murdering or stuff like that, but it was definitely to be like, itching powder in one's
in your coffee.
Yeah.
Your powdered Kramer is actually talcum powder. Good job.
Yeah. The little practical joke type of. I don't want to say adversarial, but you have one of those friends you can start pushing on.
Yeah.
And
you swap out the Oreo cream filling with toothpaste.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at the end of all of this, I was more than okay with resigning to go with Dude and left it in Hellwig's hands. And however he dealt with it, I was going to be absolutely fine with. So.
I'm not gonna lie. Like with this last scene, it was intense, even for me. And I know I was trying to make it intense. So I don't know what it was like for you guys, but I'll say this: I tried so hard to just give you the situation, keep nudging the time forward, see what happens. I didn't want to be the one that actually caused Alia to die. Because I felt like the dramatic impact would be heavier if one of you guys had inadvertently caused it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when Milligan was like, fuck it, I'll just walk out there. I was like, bro, I have a plan for if you surrendered, Calth would have done exactly what he said, escorted your ass onto his ship, taken you up to his ship in orbit, thrown your ass in a cold berth, and you'd be in the Manchurian Arm in several weeks.
Yep.
That's exactly what would everything. Like, here's the one thing, and obviously, even if I meant it, I could say it. How you respond to it wouldn't have mattered. But Calth was absolutely to the letter of his word. If you surrender, I don't let these motherfuckers go.
Yeah. At first, I didn't believe him because I thought he was Empire Mankind. But then when I started talking about Briggs and he said he's working for him, then I knew right there, oh, he's just a freaking bounty hunter. Because, so I believed him at that point. That's why I was willing to walk on the ship to let everybody else, be safe. I was down for it because honestly, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking Briggs has got to be following me pretty close up to this point. He's seen what I can accomplish up to this point. He may not kill me.
Problem.
I'm a problem outside, but once I'm in his control, he might consider that to be an asset. Who knows? You
want to hear one of the thoughts I had about how Briggs was going to deal with you?
Yeah.
So, Briggs, first off, he sent you that watch.
Yep.
You never checked it.
Nope.
It had a bug on it. It had a bug on it, but it wasn't a listening bug. It was a location bug. It had a small power source, and it would connect with the local internet I forget the exact time interval, but every several hours, it would connect with the local internet to release a quick string of GPS coordinates and nothing more. So it would basically post these GPS coordinates into the telecommunication system because he knew that ultimately that telecommunication system would push that message into the dispatch boats or courier boats or whatever the fuck it is, the regular transfer of information across the systems. And so that ultimately that information would get back to him with a date and time stamp and routing information. So he would get a set of GPS coordinates with date, time, and routing information of where it came from. So he would be able to figure out where you were at any point in time within every 6 or 7 hours or whatever it was. This thing would literally power up, get its current location, put it on the internet, and power back down. And it was supposed to do it all within just a few seconds. So it could never be detected. This way, Briggs would know where you were at all times because he knew if he could get his hands on you, he could do any one of a number of things that I, the GM, had never fully realized what it was going to be. Number one, obviously kill you outright, just kill you. Two, some sort of indentured servitude or slavery or whatever you want to call it. Number three, I had that one idea at one point. He was going to actively recruit you to the point where he may actively try to, I'm going to use the word brainwash. That's not the word, it's not all the negative connotations with it. Like he was going to over time corrupt you.
Right. Bring me to their side.
Yeah, Palpatine and Anakin corrupt
Yep.
you to want to join the Empire of Mankind. Because Briggs was a hardliner, full in, all in, Empire of Mankind is where he's at. And he wanted to bring you in because he knew you had the potential. That or he was going to kill you.
Yep.
So I mean, here's a question I actually have.
Yeah.
Is I know the Empire of Mankind was like a big problem.
Yeah.
Right, and it's kind of like one of those things, right? But like, how corrupt was it with inside Fleck? And I mean, ever since like that, the whole opening scene where the space station blew up, which we kind of forgot about, and a couple other little things.
Yeah.
The
story drifted away from those terroristic acts because you guys had moved away from Flex. You were no longer part of an NGO. You were part of a private business.
Right. But I mean, like, my question is like, you know, I was always constantly thinking like, oh, we're gonna run across some more Empire of the Mankind things, and I don't think.
I'll reveal this much, and if you have further questions, we can definitely delve into it. Up to, of course, whatever limits I don't want to reveal right away. Right. So the Empire of Mankind initially started, this is all strictly out of character knowledge, by the way, initially started as a colony somewhere in the last 100 to 150 years ago. And they found a star system that is here-ish. Like, literally right there. It is about 2 jumps from Canada. Or whatever this one is. Erickson, I think it says. So there's 1 jump, and then the next one. If you recall, at one point I mentioned the word Vodrosa Prime in one of the opening scenes or something like that. That's the name of that star system. So 150 years ago, this colonial effort found this star, made its way out there, had basically cut itself off from everything back on Earth. And it survived and thrived. Economy boomed because they only traded with each other. I don't know how economics works, so maybe this would have worked, maybe it wouldn't have. They had all of the resources of an entire solar system to exploit to their own one unified goal, to create their own nation, an independent nation of Earth. They did that. They have this fully colonized solar system, and now, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20 years ago, some sort of paradigm shift takes place. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I never fully fleshed all of this out. A major shift takes place internal to this colony that at this point is not yet actually called the Empire of Mankind. They are aware of more or less the major events of human history across the 3 arms because they have people out and about scouting, reporting back, merchants pretending to be from different organizations but are actually their merchants, and things of that nature. They decide that humanity needs to experience its own paradigm shift in line with the new results of their current shift, which is basically that humanity needs to unite under a single banner and stop being this factious balkanized bullshit of 150,000 different countries on 120 different worlds, whatever the numbers are.
Right.
The Empire of Mankind then becomes the actual Empire of Mankind and says, we're going to do the reunifying of the entire human race into one single banner, our banner.
So basically, they stayed there long enough that Space Hitler was born.
Yes, but I don't know if here's the other side of that equation from a storyteller side. I didn't necessarily want to paint the Empire of Mankind as your evil galactic empire.
Evil, yeah, right.
Because I
They just
wanted
have
to have certain
values.
they have certain values or certain perspectives, certain points of views that they fully believed in, and as a community or society are fully committed to and locked in. Some of those ideas, don't get me wrong, are absolutely not in line with what we think is okay today, such as xenophobia.
Right.
I will tell you again, this is strictly out of character information. The Sung, whatever it is over there,
Yep.
roughly 10% survive,
Yeah.
if not that much.
that was going to be my next question.
You said that. You said that at one point. You were like, either they're enslaving them or they're killing them, or something like that. Or no, you were either they were militarizing them.
Right, militarizing them or wiping them out. Yeah.
One of the opening scenes was the ships of the Empire's fleet firing into the surface of the planet. They were sanitizing that planet. They are strict xenophobes, and I'm talking like xenophobes on the level of the real Empire of Mankind, led by the God Emperor, he who sits on Terra.
Right. Yeah. Some whole Space Marine stuff. Okay.
Yep. Now, part of what is going on in the Manchurian Arm that was eventually going to come to light, and if and when we return to 2300, this will probably become something close to common knowledge. They are moving to secure the Manchurian Arm, not necessarily the entire arm, but secure enough space for them to do what they feel they need to do to protect themselves. They're forming a wall. God help me. I don't mean it like Donald Trump did. They're trying to secure space for themselves because they know that they're going to face hostility, and they need more room for themselves to do the things they want to do. So prior to the invasion of the Manchurian Arm, which is what a lot of the opening scenes were in season 2, was the gradual invasion. In what we saw some of in season 1, they were trying to confuse the ever-loving fuck out of all of Earth's other governments by doing terroristic attacks in the French, American, and Manchurian arms. So they had various splinter cells, sleeper cells, action cells, small groups. Some of their spies that they had been out for generations at this point were out cultivating and facilitating local action groups to do things like blowing up space stations, taking over power plants of another space station, and saying things like, only the Empire of Mankind can protect you from this. Look how long it took the French government to finally respond.
Right.
Because part of it, I tried to pull on some real, I'm probably going to get flagged on YouTube from this, but some of the military training I've had is what we call counterinsurgency, or COIN. I tried to pull on some of that training that I had on how terrorist organizations tend to operate and apply that here to show what some of the things that the Empire of Mankind was willing to do. All of it was meant as a smoke and mirror show why they built up their massive armada and then unleashed hell. And if you notice, once the cutscenes for the invasion of the Manchurian Arm began, the terrorism stopped.
Right.
More or less. I meant to hint at it a little bit more than what I did, because I always wanted that specter of looming doubt. But yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I knew they were kind of existing out there, and then all these other little small factions that we just kept running across at various times, like the Blackguard or whatever else it was on Grendel.
The Black Watch. The Black Watch is a
Watch.
splinter organization. Let me rephrase that. Let's call them a subgroup of Provolution, which is a terrorism group listed in the Traveler 2300 content material.
Yep.
They were, I forget what their motivation specifically was, and I definitely added and twisted some things to make it work for our story. And I think I alluded to this at one point. If you remember when you first got the Queen Alice star system, there was what was originally heard as 2 pirate groups duking it out in the outer system. That was actually Black Watch and Red August Blood, something like that. Another group I had mentioned that was a low-grade merc unit under contract to the Empire of Mankind, but nobody knew what that meant. It was just, they were legit contract to the Empire of Mankind, but at that point, the Empire of Mankind wasn't anything that you could consider to be an officially recognized government.
Right.
I will point out that they did become an officially recognized government because they basically declared their independence from humanity.
Right.
Shortly after they took over their little bit of the Manchurian arm.
So the only other question I have,
Yep.
before I cut it back over to Milligan, and it's almost time to call it anyways.
Yeah.
Is Tankerson?
Yeah.
Was he or was he not a legitimate businessman, or was he part of a?
You want the scoop on Tankerson. That's what I'm hearing.
An organizational or a group that was involved in
Yes.
olive oil wars.
Yes, he was. He is indeed a legitimate businessman because he does run Tankerson and Company or whatever the fuck. I never named it.
Right. Yeah.
But he very seriously does make those gift shop things and has a small network of planets that he delivers them to. He also, from his journalism days, is a member of this so-called network that was mentioned once or twice.
Right.
Although we never got a chance to fully flesh it out, and I'm not going to reveal a lot, but the network is an organization that, in a sentence or two, as a descriptor, the network is an organization that was founded to combat some of the actions of these individual and widespread action groups under hire to the Empire of Mankind. They are an information gathering and information distribution network. Literally a network. Number of people on each individual planet or system, and they occasionally crosstalk so that information is spread across. And the ultimate goal, never fully explained, was to figure out what was the connection with all of these recent terrorism attacks across the three arms. Because somebody somewhere, probably on Earth, started putting all the dots on a punch board with some red yarn and realized there's a connection here somewhere, but I can't figure it out. And he probably had a cigarette in a hand pointing, just running wildly at the dots. At one point, I made a opening scene where somebody was being followed. The individual being followed turned into a dead end, but the person following him was then beat up by a bunch of people that was basically, he got led into an ambush. He knew he was being followed. That was the network, except the problem is, at the time I had written that, I had not yet conceived of any of this network. It was just a nebulous idea of, what if there was people out there trying to figure out what the Empire of Mankind is, and they're doing it very secretively with zero support from any major entity out there ever. It's just literally a bunch of randos with CB ham radios trying to figure it out.
Right. Okay.
Does that answer any of what you were looking for with Tanker 6? I went way off and started talking more about the network.
No. That kind of explains. I mean, like honestly, I was fully believing that Tankerson was a the Godfather type of stuff, right? But it sounds more like he was like, an amateur in spy or amateur police detective type of thing.
Well, he kind of is, in a way. I mean, that was the point of the network, was these, relatively well-placed but not necessarily well-connected with any major governmental or powerful corporations or anything like that. These are people that just happen to be in the right place at the right time, that were contacted by the other right people at the right time, and somebody somewhere else was like, wait a minute, this, and this is all connected somehow. And somebody managed to centralize the information and figure it out.
Right.
Charles, how do you post so many memes and still play at the same time?
That's a damn good question. I'm sure I've had that one as well sometime along the last year.
I mean, I do good to put 2 up in a session.
I sit there. Well, some of the I hate to say this. I'll admit this right now. Okay. While some of the conversations going on and some of the other characters are taking lead, I'm sitting there like throwing things up there, and like
you catch
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm paying attention, but I'm not fully paying attention at the same time. I'm just trying to split my, pick the highlights so I can know at least, almost like being in school. Take notes and, oh wait, this is boring. Blah 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 blah. What's my important dates? and then just doodling on the side of my notepaper.
Yeah. So Abraham Lincoln made a speech at a place called Gettysburg, but I don't know anything about why or what was said.
Basically.
I mean, that's what I heard. Oh man, Thurgor, do you have anything you want to dig into? I feel like we covered a lot of the big major topics of this campaign.
I'm a little curious why Briggs sabotaged the ship when he could have gotten off at pretty much any time. I mean, we weren't an armed ship, so if that stealth ship had just come up alongside of us, he could have exited and EV'd over there, and we wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. And he could have just left, and that would have been that.
I think,
You know, he caused the animosity
yeah,
by sabotaging the ship.
well, that was kind of his plan, was to cause disruption and distraction. I forget some of the particulars in that specific time frame, but I do remember these thoughts. Briggs was a sleeper spy, or whatever you want to call it, who, you know, over the course of the last, basically the deployment prior to when you guys came on, he had been inactivated in that last deployment or tour or whatever you want to call it. He was activated. He started picking up information and trading it, or not trading. You know what I mean? Relaying information.
Yeah.
And then the player characters got involved. The campaign began, and he was in a position as a captain of a ship to continue pulling very high level sensitive information because he's a captain of a starship, so he has access. Also keep in mind that around this time, the Empire of Mankind is in the final stages of preparing their invasion. And here is a captain with real world captain experience. They reassigned him, effectively. You're going to take charge of this ship, and you're going to go fight in this war. We need you over here on the front lines. By that point, Briggs was starting to notice that you guys effectively that you guys were on to him. He was starting to pick up on things. In some of my notes, I had plans where if something happens, Briggs is going to do this. One of the plans I had, I forget exactly when this was going to take place, probably an episode or two prior to Briggs actually leaving the ship forever. One of my plans in my actual prep notes was, if this happens, Briggs is going to go and get with that engineer in the engineering section of the ship, grab him, they're going to go do this, they're going to go do that, and they're going to get the fuck out of here. I don't remember specifics at this point. This was obviously a few months ago. So when Briggs was given the order to leave, I believe it was actually Briggs' idea to cause some sort of a distraction or cause something to happen on the ship to keep everybody's focus on the ship and not him. And he would literally vanish in the chaos. And he did almost exactly that. He sabotaged the ship. I think he maybe meant to actually disable the ship. Actually, I think that's what it was. I think he had meant to disable the ship with the intent of keeping the ship from being able to follow the stealth ship that he had transferred to. Because if you guys followed it, especially with the player characters in a position to be like, no, we're not going to Beowulf. We're going to follow that fucking thing we can't see. We're going to follow as long as we can, and we need some answers. Because we now know for sure that Captain Briggs is a traitorous asshole. And so that was his intent, was to, in a very real sense, break contact with Flex and get the fuck out and then go fight this war.
Was he a native Vidrosian?
You know?
Or was he somebody that
I will say this. I remember now. I did roll him up as a native of Ellis. Somewhere in his history, I forget exactly where, he met someone who was associated with the Empire of Mankind, and that's how he was brought in. He did share a lot of the same views with the Empire of Mankind, which is what sold him on it. And so eventually he became effectively a sleeper agent until he was quote-unquote activated sometime before the campaign began.
But one last question.
Sure.
If Invasion had come out when it was supposed to,
yeah,
would that have turned their focus from basically trying to take over the known universe to allying with them to fight this
You know,
obvious alien threat.
I'll be honest with you. I went back and forth on that one, especially with the delays. Now, if the delays had never happened, my answer would be totally different, and I'm not sure what my answer would be. I kept accounting for the delays, and I was kind of hoping, honestly, I was hoping that invasion would happen, and then the Manchurian arm thing would take place. So basically, the French arm would be fucked up, and then the Manchurian arm would be fucked up, and then humanity would have to figure something out, and then the Empire of Mankind would basically press its claim and be like, we're uniting humanity, period. Fuck you. And then if anybody was to fight it, there would be a big human scale civil war. Ultimately, somebody would win, and then humanity would be united. And ironically, somebody would have been, at the end of that entire arc, some Empire of Mankind citizen would have been like, we lost, but we won, because now humanity's united, and now I'm dead. Because they found me, just shot me. I'm dead. So, like, ultimately, the Empire of Mankind achieved its goal. It just wasn't the one in charge.
Right.
That was kind of one of the arcs, or over, several seasons or whatever, things I wanted to accomplish, was that one way or the other, the Empire of Mankind was the catalyst that caused humanity to unite under a single banner. The question would have been, whose banner? A black one with the Earth and Moon orbital emblem, or would have been some other red, white, and blue kind of thing. Not meaning French or American or whatever, but I just figured that if there was going to be an Earth-based flag, it would probably have red, white, and blue of some sort in there. Because the UN doesn't exist anymore.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one angle. The other angle was, the Empire of Mankind taking advantage of the chaos caused by the invasion, and thus, of course,
right
into them meeting their goals.
Yep.
There was some consideration on my part for, well, what if the Empire of Mankind either allied or just fought alongside and was like, we'll deal with you later, we're gonna go take care of these aliens because we hate the aliens more than we hate you. There was some of that thought where they were like literally going to try to find some other flank to attack the aliens from, and then be like, well, we're kind of fucked up, but so are they, so let's kill them too. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to realize that. I never got a chance to see what I had to do to make it work. It would have been a very interesting series for both the the show and just in general for the for you guys, the players. I think see how Invasion and the Empire of Mankind was going. And if you recall, I know Charles might, Thurgor, I don't know if you were around for it yet. I had recalled early on that there were, or I had stated early on, very early on, that there were two major antagonists for this campaign. They were the Empire of Mankind and the Kefers, or whatever they call themselves, or whatever we're going to call themselves, because that word is not very friendly.
Right. With the bugs versus the humanoid xenophobes.
Yep. Those were the two primary and major antagonists, the big bads, if you will, for this campaign. Was the aliens from whatever star system they're from, and the Empire of Mankind. And the Empire of Mankind, I almost literally threw them in as a joke, and then it just like expanded from there. When I first prepped that very first episode and had the explosion of the Terrain Interplanetary Space Station, and who was going to claim responsibility, I struggled so hard to come up with something that didn't sound like 40K. And then Zamerson called me out on it, and I was like, well, I'm fucked because I couldn't come up with a better name, and this is what I got, the Empire of Mankind. And then Zamerson said whatever it was he said. I was like, yep, maybe somebody read the Horus Heresy too many times. And it stuck. It was locked in at that point. There was no going back at that point.
Right.
So, anything else?
Well, I'm good.
I'm good too.
All right. We don't have any viewers throwing out questions or anything. Nobody's joined us in Discord. Viewers on YouTube, please, by all means, throw a comment on there. I will answer it. If you have any questions about this series, there was a solid year's worth of content. I am very thankful for this group having stuck it out this long. And when I say stuck it out, I don't mean like they suffered and endured or anything. Like they were here. We all made an effort every single week to make it here, and we got, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30-ish episodes. This is 20 episodes in this season, and I want to say 13 or 14 in the previous season. So about 34, between 30 and 35 episodes altogether. So that means we actually met 30 plus out of 50 weeks in the last year. I think this would actually be week 53, if I'm not mistaken, from when the first episode was released on YouTube a year ago. Charles, Thurgor, Wiggles, Lee for his brief time with us, Zamerson for his time with us. Honestly, this sounds probably a little sappy and a little shitty or whatever. I can't think of the right word now. I truly appreciate our time together. I know that may sound weird in some way, but I really, really mean it. I have supremely enjoyed telling this story. I know ultimately the decision was mine to make, but I wish we'd had better chance to tell the full story. But I think I haven't revealed too much, I don't think, that can't be kept solid in the OOC category, that we can't revisit this universe in the future. And I think it's a valid idea to return and maybe tell a slightly different story in the same universe. Who knows what can happen in the future, because a few weeks ago I didn't think we would be ending anytime soon. Here we are tonight, ending on this note. And I don't want to sound sad, depressed, morose, any of that. It's just the truth of it. I have thoroughly enjoyed this time. Yes, we've had stressful times. Yes, we've had difficult times. And yes, we even had a difficult player at one point. But we've handled all of that with grace, with dignity, respect for each other, even all the way up through in the last week or two when everything truly turned south and pear-shaped. So truly, my thanks to you guys, Charles, Thurgor, Wiggles, Lee, Samson. I feel like there was one other person, but I might be crazy now.
We had a guy that was pre-stream that checked in and then checked out because he couldn't make time.
It was the Aussie. I don't remember his name now because he didn't stick around on the server very long either. Oh, there was another one. I can't remember his name either. There was another one. At any rate, my players, I truly am thankful for the time we have had, and for the viewers, thank you for viewing. And I hope you stick around for whatever content we've got coming up. I don't have anything scheduled or planned to replace Second Star at this time. I will say this. I have a couple of ideas, and none of those ideas are in a position where I can start them anytime soon. I have to do a lot of legwork to get those up and running. But they do involve Star Trek Adventures. They do involve Battletech. They do involve using the rules for King Arthur Pendragon, but using my own world to tell a story. And there was another game that suddenly I cannot remember what it was going to be. At any rate, I have... Oh, Rogue Trader. Duh. Wow, how could I forget that one? I basically patterned one of the major antagonists after the entire Warhammer universe. Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k is the other possible option. But none of them are going to come out anytime soon. We're talking at least a couple months before I'm ready. That's a shitty roll. There's your shitty roll, finally. Where was that 2 hours ago, you motherfucker? Rolling... I don't think you rolled less than a 10 all goddamn night. Until now.
Yeah, I did.
No,
but
stop
that
it.
would have still hit.
Probably. God, what else do I feel like there's at least one other thing I wanted to say. I know we're quite a bit over at this point. We're like 30 minutes over.
Yeah.
No, I got nothing else, man. Any final comments, gentlemen?
No, but I like you said, I just hope, if things work out, that we can maybe get this back together again. Otherwise, it was fun to be in a 2300 universe again after not playing for 40 something. I played back in high school. That was 30 some odd years ago.
And the rules were so different back then, but yet they were the same.
Yeah.
a lot of it really was the same. I mean, the die rolls themselves were different, the damage was different, and all that needed correction. So I think Traveler system has helped that part out considerably. Because in the
Yeah.
past, the damages were all static. Um, there was no randomization of damage. You know,
Oh
if you got
yes,
hit
I
with this
remember that now.
particular gun,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
took that much damage, and if it was the wrong gun, you were dead.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yep. So even if you had armor on, there was concussion damage and all sorts of other stuff. And so even if it didn't kill you, it took you out.
Yeah.
So combat was super rough back then. Uh, and still we made it work. We had a lot of characters die, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but we still made it work. But yeah, so I like, I'm not gonna knock Mongoose at all because they do a lot of work and I appreciate everything they do.
I really
You know,
appreciate the
I
second
didn't like
edition coming
Yeah, I
out.
didn't like the remake they made of RuneQuest because I played a whole bunch of RuneQuest back in the day too, the Avalon Hill era RuneQuest, and I didn't
Mm.
like what they did with it. But that didn't jade me from them or whatever. And when I saw they came out with 25, I missed all those previous editions. I was in my own world at that point, I guess. But when this latest one came out, I was all over it, and I really appreciate the work they've put in on it. Um, still editing my books to correct some things, but other than that, I think it was a good job. I
Yeah, I
really appreciate
definitely
the opportunity to play, and I really enjoyed every minute of it.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Well,
Well,
I'm good.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I think unless there's anything else, I think this is the time to pull the plug.
Yep.
Oh man, God, it feels weird now. All of a sudden, wow.
Well, we'll see you next week then.
What's that?
I
See you
said we'll
next
see you
week.
next week then.
No, we definitely, unfortunately, we need to call it here. All right, my
So,
friends.
so my closing thought would be so long, goodbye, and thank you for the fish.
I knew. You know what? I probably thought about this like semi-conscious level, but now hearing it, yeah, no, that's definitely a thing Charles would say, and I really appreciate that. I really do. My friends, thank you for sticking it out with us, and I hope you enjoyed this ride as much as we have, and I hope that there will be plenty more rides in the future that you will join us on. In the meantime, we are out of here. So as always, stay safe, my friends. This world is indeed a dark and crazy place. So make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we're out of here. And we'll catch you next time. Probably next week when I stream some Solasta or when I do Alien RPG. Or help yourselves and find out more what's going on by joining our Discord server where you can see all the crazy shit that I've got planned for whenever it might happen. Have a good one, my friends. We'll catch you next time.